Yeah, hey, hello, you magnificent Dr. Layman. I'm completely unprepared for this stream, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So stick around. For the first time ever on this channel, we're actually somewhat on time. So that's a pretty lovely change of things. Right. Let me know if the audio is fine.
Hello.
Uh, hey, right. I like the background that you chose, Naka. That's a lovely background. I really appreciate that. Um, I'm really good to technically talk about it and let me go on record here that yes, sociology is not a science. It can employ certain methods of science in certain aspects of it, but by and large, it is not a science. Okay, with that out of the way, today's formalities. This is not a Q&A stream. It will have a component of Q&A, but it is largely a sort of research and chill stream. So what does this mean? We're going to talk about stuff that is too small, too boring, too short to make a thank you Naka to make a video
My
about.
beer exploded. What the fuck?
How should I? So instead, we'll be dealing with that in the opening, and that's going to be like a new format where we'll talk about just tiny things like one term, one aspect, one theory, one assumption, and talk about it in the opening. Then we'll do the Q&A thingy where you can ask me questions, and I'm gonna do my best to answer. Yeah, and at the very end, we'll get in the patrons that are eligible to join, and they can then skewer me and completely embarrass me in the public space. Right. So it seems the audio is fine. Seems everything is lovely. So yeah.
Good.
Naka, if you would do what you know what Naka, introduce yourself. That's a good start.
Oh well, fucking most people know who I am by now. But by the way, just to point out, you did cut out a wee bit during that there. Literally only when you said, "I'm Doctor," and then it disappeared.
That is lovely. That is a
Your
fantastic
name
start.
literally cut out. It was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fitting,
But
right?
but I have a question for you. To start
Yes.
off with, is the term pseudoscience used to put down other fields of academia, like a
Oh,
derogatory term?
oh yeah, actually it is. It is. Like I talked about this a little bit. The higher you get in the academic establishment, the more people are not bound to singular disciplines on average. On average, but the more interdisciplinary their work is. So you will very rarely find someone who's like exclusively doing only, say, biology. He will usually also include a degree of logic, a degree of chemistry, mathematics, and so on and so forth. Um, but in a sort of colloquial understanding, people often use pseudoscience to just mean anything that I don't like, and it's kind of like, yeah. So yeah,
So, just off the top of my head, would it be kind of like I'm thinking like there's like hard science, soft science, and pseudoscience, sort of stuff like that.
not even really. Like pseudoscience is like not. It's like an insult. You can call basically anything pseudoscience. So for example, there's a big problem with Indian and Chinese pay to publish papers. That you basically just pay and they publish whatever. It's a very good way how to get your citations going, how to get a foot in, if you will. It's actually really prevalent in physics, biology, chemistry, but also in certain social sciences, and that is quite a literary pseudoscience because usually those things are just complete garbage. Like they are not usable, and there's a reason why the people that did this wanted to avoid peer review. Now, at the same time, there are many European journals that are, for example, politically biased. You will find journals that publish feminist theory that have basically non-existent peer review. Like they are so ideologically motivated that it's completely irrelevant what you do as long as you say feminism good, men evil,
Yeah.
and that too is pseudoscience.
Math,
Basically anything that says I did a science but you actually didn't.
math is a pseudoscience.
Math is not a science at all.
one of my cogs just broke.
I hope so. To be honest.
Oh fucking yeah! You've got two apples. I take one of your apples. I eat the apple, then I fuck your mum. Nail tart. What then? Yeah, what's your maths gonna do then? Build the atomic bomb. Oh fuck!
Yes, that's physics.
But physics
Like,
is math.
no, it actually isn't. If you say physics is just applied mathematics, I'm gonna fucking kick you out of this stream.
I find it lovely that you thought that I would know that was even a thing to say. I say as I grab my can and I sip.
Well, so for the people in the chat, can you conduct empirical research in math? No, you can't. Therefore, it is not a science. It may be the most important thing, the most important tool we have at hand, but it quite literally, by definition, is not a science. Also, that's something that I really wanted to touch upon, not in this stream, but in a later video. This idea that science is inherently always superior is kind of silly. For thousands of years, humans survived without any real science, just trial and error, oral traditions where your great grandfather told your great grandfather told your father what plants to eat, what plants not to eat, and it worked fine. And the average person will go through their life just never really encountering science at all. So yeah, just because something is not science doesn't mean it's useless. The absolute vast majority of things that we do are not science, and yet they are completely central to our life, like the entirety of our social life, for example.
And then we had the modern day iteration of knowledge being passed down with top 20 everyday life hacks. Did you know? Did you know you could take your toothpaste and use it to clean your shoes or some shit? I don't know. I'm clutching at straws.
Wow! Did you know that if you take a ground meat and put cheese on it, you can cook anything? Wow!
Did you know if you allow unchecked immigration, you've fucked up your country? Oh, sorry.
Jesus. Well, okay, that was kind of harsh. Oh, Jesus.
More like wife hack, am I right? Oh, when Tyrone gets through here.
That's a really good start to a stream, I suppose.
I love the name that Dankula used in that one video where with the Vice versus the Spice, and it was like it's like that, and they make fun of me for drinking soy milk and my open relationship between me, my girlfriend, and Tyrese. Fucking Tyrese, fucking beautiful.
That's kind of racist. I'm not gonna lie.
I just like any name with Ty in front of it, like just as a stereotype. Stereotypes are funny. Humour lies in absurdity. Yeah.
It actually is. Right, I'm gonna wait until we are at 300 viewers, and then I'm gonna. Naka, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Huh, right, there was some issue
talking.
with the. Anyway, so I'm just gonna wait until 300 viewers, and then we'll start with the thingy, or rather, I'll start with the thingy, and I'm gonna try to explain you arguably one of the oldest sociological assumptions that there are, and let's just see how that goes.
Good luck.
Right, it's gonna be fun. Um, right, I would like to deal with one thing before we reach 300 viewers, and that's Stinky Bean 5. Why does Doc Layman look like an onion bro in a suit? I went through 4 iterations of my sort of visual layout thingy. My first was just a black squiggly line on a white background. The next one was the next one was basically what you're seeing right now. It was a white suit dude with a white egg head and squiggly line. The third one was a dude smoking a pipe and a lot of sort of psychedelic visuals. And the fourth one is this goofy, chubby, skeptic clone that I find hilarious, but no one seems to get the joke, and everyone thinks I'm being dead serious about being an enlightened, little rational skeptic.
I think a lot of people get the joke. It's just stupid people are very vocal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, stupid. Yeah.
I think one thing I noticed is I was on YouTube for many years, and I in the entire time I had been signed up to YouTube, I only ever left one comment.
Really?
One comment. Yeah. And that comment was on a road safety video where a young ginger boy's ghost follows a man around the place because he can never forget that he was driving like 30 in a 20 zone area or something like that. And so
What?
and so young me had wrote in the comments, nobody cares about gingers. And yeah, that was it. That was literally my testament to YouTube for about 10 years.
Jesus, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Downvoted forever. mm, turn the cogs, clock worn out.
Clock one. So yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Um, I forgot what was just about to say. Um, anyway, we're 300 people. Yay! That's kind of nice. You saved me there from having to explain
Alright.
embarrassing things. Right. Show the head Kakalevi so we can get this visual thing going.
Oh, you want your Duckman?
Yes, give me the Darkman.
Oh, there you go. I'm ready. I'm ready, nigga. I've got my fucking Rick and Morty DVD case sitting here in my lap.
Oof, you're gonna need it, boy. You're gonna need it.
Fucking Duckheim looks like my stand.
Okie dokie. Is the thing on? Because I have a delay.
Yeah, he's up.
Right. Okay. Emil Durkheim. Today we're going to be talking about Emil Durkheim. We're going to be talking about his book on the division of labor in society. And this is really not about trying to give you a sort of scientific understanding of things because it's old, right? The division of labor in society is from 1894 or 93. I don't really remember. 1893, I think. And since then, a lot of things have changed. But what's super interesting is to have this sort of historical perspective, to look into it and be like, hey, what did people think 100 years ago or 200 years ago on how the world works, so to speak?
Yeah.
And so, Emil Durkheim, super influential dude. He is arguably one of the three founding fathers of sociology. And it's super interesting because the three founding fathers are extremely different from each other. They even, to a certain degree, really hate each other. It's fucking hilarious. You got Max Weber, you got Karl Marx, whoa! And you've got Emil Durkheim.
Thanks for peeking the
Personally,
audio, Del.
yeah, I don't care. I literally don't care. I really like Max Weber. Like, he's arguably my favorite. Um, Especially his idea that social science should be free of value judgments is super important, and we've kind of, in many aspects, lost track of it.
And why is Dirk on
Uh,
Babylon?
because I like him. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, but why would you pick the number 2 waifu when you could have best waifu?
I don't know. I don't like. Honest to God, it's like I don't want Weber associated with my name. To be
Ah,
honest,
fair enough.
like no, 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 no.
Why? What did he do?
No, I mean, like I'm fucking horrible. Like I don't want to like besmidge his name post mortem.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's no, no, no. That's no, 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 no. Right. Right.
I'll be in
He's so
bed.
nice.
I'll be in bed with Dirk, but I'll be thinking of Max.
Kinda. Right. So, Naka, I'm gonna try and give you a little, just a tiny tidbit of really early sociological theory by Emil Durkheim, and after that, you'll tell me if that makes any sense to you, if you think that's complete bullshit, and if I've managed to explain it in any sort of sensible way, because I'm really bad at explaining things. So this is a training for me in a sense.
All right, here
That
we
sounds
go.
fun.
Here we go. Yeah.
Okay. Why do societies hold together? That's like one of the big questions that we often ask ourselves. And you'll have the sort of irrational skeptic who'll tell you, well, obviously, because society is a collective of rational individuals. I, as an academic, understand that. It's like, no, people are stupid, people are volatile, people are dangerous. Why then does society hold together? And how come that societies have survived for fucking ages, for tens of thousands of years. Arguably, if you are willing to say that tribes are a form of society, which in my opinion, definitely they are. Along comes Durkheim and he says, well, it depends. And he creates those two sort of ideal types of society: a primitive, sort of primitive, let's just call it primitive society, and a modern society. And those two ideal types attempt to explain why society holds together. Now, most people would start in a Durkheimian sense at the society level and be like, we gotta look at society because that's what Durkheim did. But if you want to explain it, it's far easier to start at the individual, in my opinion. That's something that Durkheim would have never done, but let's start at the individual, okay? It's the year 1000 before Christ, and you are a Mesopotamian farmer, or Egyptian farmer, or just any farmer, really. Um, to a large degree, you are self-reliant. You can work the land. Maybe you got some cattle. You got some chickens. You know how to craft basic clothing. You know how to essentially, as even on your own, you are able to survive, live off the land, and be somewhat happy. Now, bear with me. This is not my opinion. This is the assumption of Emil Durkheim. This would be a primitive man. He's self-reliant economically, largely, quote unquote, self-reliant economically, but he's still in a society. Why does that work?
Well, I
Um,
think I know why.
oh, go ahead.
Well, strength in numbers. It doesn't matter how competent and stuff like that you are. If you're basically on your own and shit like that, when a big group of angry buggers that have got together because they realise they work better when it's a bunch of angry buggers instead of one angry bugger, you want a bunch of people with you to help defend yourself, because if they get you, they might get one of the other ones. So you all need to work together to stop shit like that from happening, so that you can live in equilibrium.
Oh yeah, that would be yeah, that would be a functional argument, absolutely. I think Emil touches upon it to a certain degree, this is, in my opinion, more of an argument as to why do societies form. He's more concerned with why do societies keep together after they've formed. But yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, he says collective consciousness. He says, I touched upon it in a video, that in order for this sort of primitive society to maintain social cohesion, you've got morals, religions, beliefs, behaviors, strict hierarchies that together form this sort of body of a society. So when you really think about it, even before absolute monarchies, through the delegation of power, you had situations with extremely rigid social hierarchies. It was normed who you can or cannot marry. It was normed where you can and cannot hunt. It was really normed down to the T. And interestingly, you had these blocks of beliefs, for example. So if you were to go to, say, Denmark of the 13th century, you'll find that, that is well, let's say Denmark of the 15th century, just to be certain. Denmark of the 15th century, that's largely Christian, right? It all shares a certain sort of common ethos. They all share certain common beliefs, certain behaviors, certain assumptions and hierarchies. This is what keeps them together, what prevents them from just flipping out and killing each other, actually. Now, the problem is, when you look at modern society, we don't have that anymore. We don't have a common consciousness. We don't have common morality. In a Durkheimian sense, individualism is one of the few beliefs that most people share, like individual liberty, individual responsibility. But that is not very helpful when you're trying to create a society. So he then says that since this old mechanism of a primitive society of maintaining order through essentially control from the top is not given anymore, we have to look and try to understand why do societies keep together. And this argument is interdependence. They hold together because they must hold together. When you remember, I talked about the farmer. The farmer is largely self-sufficient in the economic sense. A modern person, not so much. Technically, theoretically, exceptions. Of course, there are exceptions, and technically, you can learn through the internet, become self-sufficient. But the absolute vast majority of people are highly specialized. The absolute vast majority of people are not like farmers that live off the land. They are IT engineers, they are highly specialized tailors.
Yeah,
They
well,
do,
but it goes without saying. It's like basically like, oh look, I can make clothes that'll keep you warm, and it's like, oh well, I can make food. I would like
yeah,
stuff to keep me warm, but I have is this food. My bread suit did not work very well, and this guy's like,
exactly,
I don't like eating wool, and so like, hey, and then fucking the change happens,
exactly.
and then they set up near each other because like, what's the point in being fucking really far away from each other?
Technically, they're already set up next to each other, but yeah, absolutely. It's like through he called this dynamic density. The more people there are, and the more competition there is, the more specialized people have to become to be more efficient. So, say you live in a primitive society, you have a bunch of, they say, 100 farmers next to each other, and after you are like 1,000 people, it becomes kind of hard for everyone to be a farmer. So one says, you know what? I'm gonna be a tailor. I'm gonna stop this farming business. I'm gonna do clothing, warm clothing. Another guy says, you know what? I always wanted to be a baker, and then he starts being a baker and stops all this land bullshit, right? And slowly but steadily, this society will transform. Now, in the Durkheimian sense, I don't want to. This will be a time of perils and enemy. It will be dangerous and whatnot. But yeah, slowly this primitive society will transform into a modern society that is not held back, held together by common beliefs, morality, and stuff like that, but is held together by this interdependence, by this necessity to. So, if I were to tell you, Naka, you gotta live without society, I think you would be kind of fucked. Like, I'm not
Sorry,
suggesting anything, but
sorry. Did
yeah.
you say you would have to live without society? You cut out for a wee bit of then now.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to say that, Naka, I don't wanna, imply anything, but if I were to tell you now you have to live without, I think you would be kind of fucked.
And it did it again. But you said without society, yeah?
Yeah, I said without society you would be kind of fucked.
Oh yeah, because I'm a product of my environment.
And so would I, it would be pretty uncomfy without electricity, without warm water, without a local baker, without someone that sells me clothes. Living completely self-reliant would be kind of, uncomfy.
Hell on
So
earth is life without Greg's the Bakers.
it's kind of true. So to come full circle, he proposes that there are essentially two ideal types of society. Ideal type meaning a sort of thought construct. Maybe it doesn't even really exist, but it's like the ideal form of it. The primitive society with the so-called mechanical solidarity. Now you can get the picture up, so we get this nice visual input.
Done book.
Mechanicals.
Or wait, are we
No, no,
doing
no.
solidarity? Alright,
The,
cool.
the picture, right? Mechanical solidarity, which means it's highly codified, common beliefs, common collective consciousness or conscience collective, if you want to be French, and it works together, held together by tradition, beliefs, morality, stuff like that. And then you have on the other end of the spectrum, and the modern society with its organic solidarity, where the solidarity is not a result of common shared beliefs, but interdependence. You live with each other because you have to live with each other. And right, I actually think that's really all I wanted to say about that. I suck at explaining, but I hope I made any sense. Naka, did I make any sense to you?
Well, at the end there, I was just mesmerised because I realised that dude in the bottom left has an afro, and he seems to be wearing like, the symbol of the Empire as his religious symbol.
The the
Star
the,
Wars.
the rebels, but never mind. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow, I can't believe
Star
you
Wars
said
is gay. Ray's overpowered. Fuck off.
this. She kinda is, but that's a topic for
No,
another
she
day.
is. No, it's bullshit.
Right. Does this historical assumption? Let me stress this again. This is a historical assumption. This is not to teach people how things work, but this is a sort of historical look. What did people think way back in the day? How society works? Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah,
Ah, okay. Did I manage to explain it properly?
yeah. Fucking makes sense. People. Odds.
Okay. Well, that's fucking lovely.
Alright, so could you repeat the solidarity bit again at the end? Because, like I said, I was sort of shocked there, and I was like, one thing that was going through my head is background man. I was thinking, I should have just deleted the eyes in one of these cunts and put a squiggly line in.
You should have.
I really should have. That was eating me away inside.
Oh no, yeah, you should have. Right, so if I were to make it like really on point, Durkheim says that the reason why societies hold together is solidarity, and this solidarity can look different depending on time period and sort of progress that you are in society. In more primitive societies, it is mechanical solidarity. That meaning it is a sort of artificial solidarity where it's like um, forced morality, forced beliefs, hierarchies. They're just keeping things in check through the sheer power of military, of tradition, of beliefs, religion, stuff like that. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have organic solidarity, a sort of, well, organically arising solidarity, where societies hold together because everyone needs each other to a certain degree. And the core point of it is the division of labor. um, Mechanical solidarity has to be this strict to maintain a society, because if everyone is self-reliant, or rather self-reliant than dependent, there's no real reason to submit to another ruler, right? There's no
Yeah.
real reason to submit to morality. Um,
Oh,
while in
all right.
organic
No, no,
solidarity,
no. I get it. So basically, what you're saying is, in the mechanical solidarity, people were all forced to do the same thing and whatnot, and they could basically sort of survive by themselves. So that's why you needed the force. But in the organic society, we wouldn't be able to work properly because we're all specialised.
yes,
Yep. Yeah. No. 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 I get you. I get you.
right. And again, for people that just tuned in, this is just a historical look. Um, Durkheim has become, especially in the last 30 years, pretty controversial. It's interesting to see, how people thought about things back in the day, and this is sort of characterized by this sort of very early grand narrative attitude, where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna write a single book and I'm gonna try to explain fucking everything, and yeah, it has to be taken with a massive, massive grain of salt. Now, I also brought you a little gift. No, not you, Naka, but everyone. If you ever want to read Durkheim, there is the Libgen link in the description. Libgen Library Genesis is I don't want to say pirating website, but a sort of get things for free website. And there's a PDF of his book on division of the division of labor in society. So if you feel like it, to get a bit of a historical perspective on social research, I definitely recommend it. It's a really interesting read.
You never told me to, but I put the book up in the street. Anyway.
Oh, nice, thank you. You can kill the picture. Oh, lovely. You're fucking amazing. Thank
It's not hard to just click things at the wrong time and fucking hang to. Oh man, I really regret not putting a squiggly line in that fucking.
You should have, to be honest. You should have.
That would have been another good Easter egg along with a big man Tyrone Rule 34. Right, are you wanting some Q&A?
We can go over into the Q&A section of things if you feel like it.
Actually, let me look at the chat. Let's see how. I want to see people calling me a retard.
Oh yeah, I want to see what people say about that guy.
Let's see. I keep seeing this thing scroll by that said something about the Glaswegian. Oh my god, it's fucking rushing by so quickly.
It's getting kind of silly. Hey, you know what? So Naka can't actually catch up with the chat. Everyone starts spamming something. Just start screaming "kick V." To be honest, you know what? I think it's like this thing. I shouldn't say his name too often.
Oh god, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
stream.
I forgot about that. I was too distracted by the eclipse joke picture that I sent you. But I was actually going to tell you, and I said, all right, vets. I said V's set to appear in the third half, and I was going to be really serious about it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't mind V. He's fun. He's definitely super fun to listen to. But it's like, there's not a single stream without him, and it gets kind of tedious. Like, it's like, hey, you know what? I got 2 hours to kill. I'm gonna listen to the Kumite. Who's on? No, it's fucking V again with the same arguments. No. Like, you can have too much of a good thing, to be honest. Yeah.
Every day is V-Day.
It is.
Eek Nuka.
Kick Nugget. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna kick you.
How do you kick
Let's
me
see.
when I'm hosting your stream?
That is actually a pretty good argument.
Lucifer, nigger, bastard, cock.
Right. So if you feel like it, Kakalevi, lay some Q&A on me.
Yeah. That is the
And
hash.
sorry, real quick, for everyone that wants to ask something, you can use hashtag #AreTheyEx-Israeli. It's in the description, and just make a tweet with the hashtag.
That's what I was about to say. Okay, so
Oh, sorry.
there you go. Just let me bring up the Tinternet tab, just in case people send images that they want to show off. Obviously, I'm going to be looking in a different window at the thing there in case anybody sends anything that will get you in trouble.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
Oh,
Please
fucking
don't.
Duckman, you've had your time. Fuck off. Who is this be?
Goodbye, Doug. I might appreciate you.
I appreciate you, but not as much as Max Weber.
Wow, I can't believe you said this.
You said it, pal. You said it, no me.
Yeah, I actually did. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Durkheim.
I'm sorry, Durkheim. Friendship with Durkheim ended. Weber's now a friend.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, dear Dr.Layman, notice the meme I made for you, senpai. Let's see, and we have it there. Up on the screen.
Is it so far? I'm only seeing why sociology is not loving you.
Well, yeah, because it needs to catch up. It's the academic screeching one.
Skeptical educator. I fucking love it. That's so fucking armpilled.
I literally went into Google and I typed in fucking why sociology is not a real science. Oh my god! Like the fucking first, all the fucking questions are the same dude. Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
There you go. First question, dear Dr. Layman, fuck, marry, kill, Durkheim, Weber, and Marx.
I mean, that's kind of mean. Like, okay, I'm gonna say something really controversial. I appreciate Marx for what he is in the context of his works. I mean, there's a lot that you can criticize. This stream is not the place for it, but especially the sort of quote-unquote empirical aspects of Marx are not very strong. So if I absolutely have to choose, I would fuck Max Weber because he's cuter than Durkheim, even though he's a better person and a better academic. I would marry Durkheim because he seems to be like a really calm and collected person that you can just adopt a Nigerian orphan or something like that. And I would definitely kill Marx, but I wouldn't like let him suffer or anything. It would be like very humane.
The correct answer was all three on all three.
Wow! Just changed the order a little bit.
You got to do it the Henry VIII way.
True, to be honest.
For the same guy that did the image. Dear Dr. Layman, when I am more liberal than the liberalists, am I a liberalist or a liberalist or a liberalist? Fuck you for that tweet. You bitch.
I'm gonna look it up myself real quick so I know what you're talking. Okay, when I am more liberal than the liberalist, am I a liberalista, a liberalist, or a liberal? Okay, factotum. I hope you die in a car crash.
Told you. Fucking bullshit.
I don't know. Like I only really caught up with the liberalists a tiny little bit. But like I can't speak for their beliefs, to be honest. But I can speak a little bit about their conduct, and many of the liberalists are not really all that freedom oriented. It seems there was a little bit of banter about like say 4 or 5 days ago, and they are really upset when you meme on them. They can't handle that.
I don't know. I consider myself part of the liberalist stuff, because I want to fucking get rid of the hate speech laws and whatnot. As I said though from the start, I think at best nothing's gonna happen. But fucking if you don't try, that's the way I see it.
I mean, like here's the thing. I I don't think that as someone who likes to call himself a researcher, and I'm using the term very loosely, that I have a right to to political activism, essentially, right? I can't say that I'm going to support this political party and at the same time do social research. I think that's kind of fundamentally dishonest. So I'm reserving all sort of judgment, but
Because it
I
could
think that
affect you with bias.
absolutely, absolutely. So I think, I mean, I wish you all the best. Like genuinely, like do your thing, and like in the end, any attempt at constructive improvement of society is something that I enjoy. It's completely irrelevant to me if you want to do it through liberalism, social democracy, or whatever. I don't care. Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
cringy. Fuck you. I don't want Daniel to go to jail. Fucking Daniel's my friend. He's a cool guy.
Actually, I want him to go to jail. To be honest. No, no, no. Okay, listen. I'm on record. Okay, someone clip this. I've already
I,
told.
I know what you're
Thank you.
saying. I know what you're saying, and I've told you that as well. I talked to Daniel ages ago about this. That if he does go to jail, he's literally going to be like a martyr for free speech.
Yes, yes, unironically, literally, not even joking. I hope he goes to jail, and I hope he suffers in jail, because once he gets out of jail, he's a martyr, he's set for life, and everything after that is just smooth sailing.
Unless they just do what they did to Tommy Robinson.
Tommy Robinson is a cuck.
You think Tommy Robinson's a cuck?
I don't even know who he is.
Tommy Robinson is like that fucking the guy that set up the English Defence League or whatever back in the day.
Oh, right, right, okay.
Yeah,
What did they do to him?
Sargon did that interview. They put him in solidarity for fucking a massive amount of time to just break
Oh,
his
that's
fucking
fucked.
spirit. They freezed all his assets and shit like that for his business and whatnot, and that just gave him, tons of time to just work on his activism because they just fucked him and he had nothing else to do. And it was like, nice
Yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
nice one, brilliant.
Like, friend of mine spent 3 years in prison. And he says that prison really is not that bad. Like, the food is shit, obviously, but like it's bearable. What is completely unbearable is the boredom. It's like you will fuck it. Like if you don't have a good cellmate, or even if you're like in isolation, like this Robinson dude, seemingly, you're gonna die of boredom. Like Jesus.
Is that why the Yanks spend all their time shanking each other and bumming?
I mean, honest to God, I'd rather have a little bit of a prison get together than just do nothing for 3 years. To be honest.
We get together and have a prison orgy.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? Sounds like fun.
Oh, one would nearby. I don't really like the idea of an orgy when it's just all men. You know, call me old fashioned and straight. It's just not really my cup of tea.
Okay, so okay, think about it this way, right? The only reason why it's gay, quote unquote gay, to fuck men, in your opinion, is that there's the difference between men and women. But if there's literally only men, it can't be gay. You still there, Naka?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm happy just jerking off. You know. To be honest, stop trying to convert me to your church of faggotry. Fucking
True, to be honest.
like, now drop to your knees and pray and spread them butt cheeks.
I mean, I'm not like into this sort of backdoor stuff myself, but I don't judge. Like as long as it's between two consenting adults or consenting children. Ha ha.
Love is
That
love,
was a
man.
joke. That was a joke.
Love is love. But I was playing Chrono Trigger in a live stream because somebody bought it for me, and whenever people buy me a game or whatever, I feel obligated to at least play it once in stream.
Mm.
And not Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. And he said, "Okay, fly over to this island, okay?" And he's like, "All right, go in one of the huts." And I go into the hut, and there's two children there, and they're like,
I don't like where this is going.
and there's two children there, and they're like, "Look, we're married." And it's like, love is love at any age. And I'm like, and this was within the same week as all the Amoshi shit. And I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. It was all for this. All right, let's get back.
Jesus.
Let's get back to the questions, though.
Almazy is one of my favorite memes, to be honest.
Oh God, that feel when you're losing relevance, so you advocate for the banging of children.
He could have been a fucking martyr. He could have, live a good life, but he had. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this one debate he had. I think it even was with like Sargon or maybe V. I don't know. And he was teamed up with Danny Deschamps, if you know Danny,
I don't.
and so the opposition is making like a really strong argument for like 2 minutes, like explaining that Amos, that's kind of fucked up. You shouldn't be doing this. No, and Amos is like, uh-huh, okay, that's a really good argument. Go in there, Danny, debunk them. Like a fucking Pokemon trainer. That was one of my favorite moments. I fucking love it.
Is it wrong to get turned on when the doctor shows me my baby's ultrasound? To be quite honest. Love is love.
That's what I think.
From Facto Rectum again, what's it called? Hey Dr. Layman, can you teach the Die Weltraummachen what cultural Marxism, postmodernism, and post-structuralism is?
Right. I think it's Die Weltraumaffen. So for those that don't know, the Weltraumaffen are a German podcast. I think they are broadcasting every Sunday. I'm not entirely certain. I was on like one way back in the day. I don't know. Like, I mean, we can have a talk about cultural Marxism and postmodernism or post-structuralism, but I don't think that I'm a person that should be, teaching anyone about it. Like, it's one thing to make a contact with someone, but it's something different to teach someone else.
Well, if you
Also,
get
they seemed
if you can
like
get Greg in, he can do postmodernism.
Oh yeah, if you can get Greg out, if he wants to do a lecture on postmodernism, I would attend. I would attend. To be honest.
Justice is their new god.
Counter question. It seems like the person that issued this question is a bit unhappy with the Weltraumwaffen. Can the person elaborate? I'm actually interested in that. Right. Okay, next question. Hit me, dude.
Alright, well, Dear Layman, since the Bielefeld School of Thought already debunked Weber and Marx centuries ago, how do you think the manga Berserk is going to end?
Fucking Bielefeld School of Thought. Fucking German memes.
I know, if I say everything's all fucking Nazi speak.
But before I answer that, in the chat, Ernst Thälmann asks, bist du überhaupt geburscht? Nein, Burschenschaften sind für Schwule und nicht für die gute Art von Schwulen, sondern für die wirklich, wirklich Schwulen. Ich wünsche Burschenschaften nur das Schlechte.
Baby, now call me a Jew.
Yeah, so basically, Burschenschaften are like very special German student houses in a sense, and they're gay as fuck. Like I can't even believe how gay they are. Like there's this old, like okay, let's devolve here real quick. There's this old tradition in many German, old German Burschenschaften. It's kind of dying out by now, but it still exists, where you will have a mensur, meaning you will have a fencing duel, and it's like that sounds kind of badass. You're gonna be using real swords. It's like okay, nice. But what those absolute pussies do is they cover up everything, like literally everything, except where it's fashionable to have a scar. And then they square off against each other. They are not allowed to move back or forth. And then they literally just try to cut each other in the face and give each other really edgy, emo, fashionable scars. And it's like, as someone who's actually doing like martial arts with swords, that's just fucking horrible. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Nice. Fucking nice. Brilliant.
Like, dude, mensur is just like they're like, oh yeah, man, that's like really tough, really like, I'm becoming a man. It's like, dude, no. You are too pussy to cut yourself. So you let someone else do it. Let's see if I can find a good video representation of it, so we can show it in the background. Oh yeah, that seems. Oh yeah, that's fucking incredible. I'm gonna send you a link, Kakalevi.
Are you sure we can do that? You know,
I mean, if you just open the page, it should be fine. This should be it. And once you have it open, just go to 330, yeah. And I really hope I triggered some Burschenschaften dudes in the in. Did you just open Big Mental Rule 34?
No, there isn't anything on that page anyway. It's just literally the Google search for it. Yeah, we've got Mondo di Notte Mensur.
Yeah, Mondo di Notte Mensur, yeah.
Okay, I'm leaving the sound off.
Yeah. And then go to 330 and let me know once it's running.
Okay, and yep, it's up.
Yeah. Right, and this is basically a really good. And like the second you cut someone, your fucking secondants jump in.
I recognise this. With the fucking
Yeah,
gay masks.
Yeah. It's so gay. It's so like I suck cock, but I'm not half as gay as they are, to be
It
honest.
looks like a woman waving a fucking handkerchief around.
I've got very little respect for them. Like I respect the fact they are cutting themselves, right? I mean, it takes balls to actually, get cut. I respect that. But it's like, why are you ruining my martial art? Why are you doing that? Can't you just cut yourself like a proper edgy teenage boy?
Alright.
It's you can kill it. I think the people now know
Yeah.
what it's all about.
Okay. Fucking Dear Dr. Layman, this is all in block caps. Why haven't you gone over to the STEM fields, you non-scientific humanities cuck? Hashtag wrecked, hashtag libtard.
The libtards. So I mean, I think that people have a sort of natural inclination towards certain things, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I have no affinity towards most natural sciences. I just don't. It doesn't come naturally to me. I have to put in extreme amounts of work to even get a sort of basic understanding of very simple phenomena. Like to this day, I struggle with, for example, various quote unquote types of energy, like potential energy, stuff like that. It's still very complicated, or even like simple calculations, like calculating various accelerations and stuff like that. This is still complicated to me. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I generally dislike this culture where it's like you gotta be an expert on everything. No, just pick stuff that you like, and try to be good at that. And yeah, it never occurred to me. I'm just bad at it. That's really it.
I haven't gone into the STEM fields because I believe in equality and want to give women a fair chance.
Real quick, MUH Geschichte says in the chat, what school are you fighting in, Layman? German or Italian? He's fighting according to Maya. Yeah, I am a Maya fag as well. Maya provides, in my opinion, the most sort of compact and thought out German longsword system there is. But, obligatory Fiora de Liberi mention, really good as well. I also do a bit of Talhofer. And if I'm really, really bored, some of the more sort of obscure stuff. But yeah, mostly Maya.
From the same guy, seriously though, what's your favourite genre of electronic for the both of us? I don't really know a lot about what makes a tune, whatever tune. You know what I mean? Like fucking, I just hear some music and I either like it or I don't. I don't really think about what background and whatever it comes from. Couldn't I tell you the difference between like death metal, fucking dew metal, whatever. I don't know. Fucking grunge, dredge, whatever. I don't know. To be honest.
That was the question asking favorite
John,
electronica, right?
yep,
Right.
your genre.
I mean, like the thing is, there are very soft borders between various types of music. So I definitely understand that it's super hard to put them firmly into one category or another. Lately, I've really been into various sort of synthwave stuff, like dark synthwave, and recently, just like half a month ago, I really discovered fashwave. Don't judge. Okay, the music is good. I don't really appreciate the most of fashwave, but the music is really good, and I'm using it in my
Fash,
video.
fash wave.
Yeah, as in fascism wave. It's really good music. It's actually
Here
really good.
come the Panzermensch.
That's old cool industrial, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's good. Dear Dr. Layman, is Sargon right about the Germans? Are they really the destroyer of Europe and the source of all collectivism? No meme answer, please.
To be honest, it's like of course an Anglo would say that. Of course an Anglo would say that. Like my response is uh, how much Aryan blood has Sargon consumed over the months to get to the level of Anglo that he's on at the moment? I don't know. If we actually look at history, then um, I would argue that the French are a big source of collectivism. But yeah, the Germans are pretty. They are very good at being bad. That's my opinion on it.
I do love it when Sargon goes full Anglo and starts shitting on every other country and stuff like that and the Scots, and it's like, bitch, we're still here. Get fucked. Mate, we gave you enough fucking trouble. And like fucking like I was saying, like one of the other times, it's like, like everybody shits on the French, and I was like, but the French helped us a lot during the past, the Scottish.
Oh yeah, they did. They did.
Dear Dr. Layman, what is critical rationalism?
Mm. So, in wow, how do I make this really simple?
Is it
Um,
rationalism that you're critical of?
no, no, no. I'm I'm not good at explaining things. Epistemology, as in, uh, how can we?
Layman?
Okay, so on a meta, like you are not.
Layman, I think you got to leave the group and come back in. I think
Oh,
the
right.
Discord sensitivity is fucking you now.
You're right. I'm gonna be right back. And I'm back. Hi. Right. Okay. So maybe it's just me stuttering because I don't know how to start this. So science is based on many epistemological considerations. You can hear me, Naka?
Yeah, you're perfectly fine.
Ah, wonderful. Right. And epistemology is essentially the branch of philosophy where you talk about what constitutes knowledge, what can we know, and how can we know things. And one of these sort of quote unquote classical schools of thought is positivism. Now, positivism assumes that you can attain positively proven, verified knowledge. Um, like and I know that there are a few philosophers in my Discord that will fucking stone me for this, but that's okay. I'm trying to explain this to a layperson. Okay, so write me an essay, but please no bully. Okay, no bully.
Fair enough.
The positivist assumes that you can essentially attain positively proven verified knowledge. That if you conduct an experiment, for example, several times, and the outcome remains the same, then it is safe to assume that you've generated verified knowledge. You throw a stone in the air, the stone comes back down. If you do that 1,000 times, the positivist will say, you know what? That is proven knowledge. That is attained positive knowledge. That's proven. That's metaphysically proven. Now, there are many schools of thought when it comes to epistemology, but critical rationalism kinda distances itself from I don't want to say namely positivism because it's really complicated what it actually distances itself from. It's defined by Karl Popper. It's a rather young branch of epistemological philosophy, and it says no, you can't know that. You literally, unironically, can't know that. Even if you were to, and excuse my lay person explanation of this, even if you were to throw the stone in the air 1,000, a billion times, 10 billion times, you wouldn't know if it comes down every time. You can make the assumption that it will come down with a high degree of likelihood. Yeah, you can even have a likelihood approaching certainty, but you will never have what I like to call certain or safe, perfect knowledge. So to make it really, really simple, um, the positivist would say if you throw a stone in the air 1,000 times, it comes down 1,000 times. That's proven knowledge. Stones come down once you throw them in the air. The critical rationalist says, no, you can't know that. And he will go to actually really hilarious lengths to say, no, you still can't know that. So this is one story, and I try to relay it because it's absolutely hilarious. Um, Imagine the following: Imagine you're sitting in your office, and suddenly a visit appears. The visit is just downtrodden, hates his life, and says, "You know what? I'm really fucking bored. Here you go. Da-da! I just gave you perfect knowledge of every experiment ever conducted regarding throwing stones in the air and stones falling down on the earth. This means every experiment ever conducted in the past, being conducted right now, or ever potentially conducted in the future, you now know about them." And then he takes a high caliber anti-material rifle, puts it in his mouth and pulls the trigger because he just surrenders. He hates his life, he's divorced, whatever.
I know, man.
Then you
That's what's going to happen when they finally cancel Rick and Morty.
and then you're sitting there covered in wizard brain, and you're like, that was a very spooky experience, but now I at least have perfect, certain knowledge that yes, if you throw a stone in the air, it comes back down. Now suddenly Karl Popper kicks in the door and says, "Do you really?" And you say, "Yeah, the wizard just told me so." And he says, "Well, how can you be certain?" The only way to be certain would be to know if you know. Like, to be if you. The only way to know would be if you knew beforehand, if you already had the perfect knowledge and could verify your perfect knowledge, because your perfect knowledge, for all you know, may be flawed. I mean, the wizard just blew his fucking brains out on you. For all you know, he just told you absolute garbage, right? And
Popper
that's
has Popper just been waiting for that wizard to shoot himself for ages.
probably
But
it's
but but
it's
no
like
but no but how did Popper know that if the wizard shot himself in the mouth with a 50 cal that his brains would splatter all over the place?
that now we're getting into the really deep aspects of critical
What
rationalism.
what if I say I could throw a rock 10,000
Mhm.
times in the air and it'll always come back down and hit the ground as long as there's no outside factors?
I mean, then your mom gay probably.
Answer the question, nigga.
Yeah, I actually can't because you cut out for a second. I just pretended to get the full thing. Okay, repeat the thing. Repeat the
I
thing.
said, what if I say if I throw a stone into the air 10,000 times, it's
Mhm,
always going to hit the ground as long as
mhm.
there's no outside factors?
Um, Now we would be getting into. Okay, so here's the thing: the more variables you know, the higher likelihood of the higher quality of predictive validity you will have. So if you say, if I know every surrounding variable and have to do it 10,000 times and it happens every single time the way you described, then yeah, in a positive sense, you could say, that yeah, true, true. This is certain knowledge. In a critical rationalism sense, Popper would kick down the door and say, you know what, but why don't you throw it 10,000 at one time? Maybe this time it will be different.
But what if there's no door to kick down? I'm in the middle of a field throwing 10,000 rocks in there.
He'll teleport.
He
I don't know.
just runs about with his own door, putting it down and booting it open, going, "You cunt! You don't know! You don't know shit! Fuck Rick and Morty!" Popper 2018.
Right. So the thing is, critical rationalism is actually a super fascinating new branch of epistemological philosophy, and I think I'm not doing it justice at the moment with my very sort of Like, I genuinely don't know how you are supposed to explain critical rationalism to someone who's not involved in research. Um, if one of my three favorite philosophers have a good suggestion how to do that, hit me up on Discord, because that would be actually fun to read out your explanation.
It just seems like the most snarky, bitchy fucking thing in the world. Like, oh well, if I throw a stone in the air, it's going to come back down. No, you don't know that. Fuck you. How do you know? How do you know that if you do that 10,000 times there? You're going to throw the stone 10,000 times and see what happens? You fucking
I
idiot.
mean, that's sort of my understanding of Papa, right?
You don't know. Fuck you.
Technically, it goes a little bit sort of deeper. It's bound to falsifiability. Like, only falsifiable things can be. Maybe this would be a good angle to explain things. The only empirical things, the only quote unquote scientific things, are things that are falsifiable, things that can be proven wrong. If you can't prove something wrong, it is empirically not relevant, right? You can't, for example, disprove God. You can't really prove a negative, like, it's really complicated, but you can't really do that. Only if you can falsify it, you should consider it in a scientific sense. And Popper says if it is falsifiable, it can be falsified. So even if you have an unlimited number of attempts at this experiment, there is a chance that at one point it will not reproduce, and you will have to alter your findings and your sort of approach to things a little bit.
I was daydreaming
If
for a
that makes
minute.
any sense.
Sorry.
Like, I really want to sort of, like, it's one thing to I got this big issue where I often lose myself in terminology. So I had this talk with someone about swords. He just started out for like 2 or 3 months with HEMA, and we were talking about fencing. And about half an hour in, he asks me, "You keep mentioning this ox. What's that?" And I just realized that to a completely layperson, I've been consistently using fencing terminology. Like, he probably knows how to move his legs in a very sort of theoretical way. He knows maybe one or two guards, but this one absolutely basic guard that's just completely natural to me at this point, he didn't know. And it's pretty similar when I talk about social research or philosophy, especially considering that I'm not really that educated in philosophy as I am in, for example, sociology. So I often lose myself in terminology, and I have to walk this really weird sort of middle ground where I try to explain really super complicated things, because critical rationalism is a result of a really long and tedious academic debate about what constitutes knowledge. It's bound to so many preceding and really complicated talks that I have to dumb it down to such a degree that it kind of loses a lot of its meaning and loses a lot of its nuance. So of course Papa wouldn't say, "You have to throw the stone 10,001 times." He wouldn't say that. But it's, I think, the easiest way to explain the approach to an absolute layperson.
I know. I don't think that's what he was saying. I'm just saying that was the way it sounded. It's hilarious.
All
Made me
right,
laugh.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
And
yeah.
I know what knowledge is. I know not to lick electrical outlets. That's knowledge.
Is it Naka? Is it knowledge?
Yes. It's knowledge of how
Okay.
not to get electrocuted by being a retard. You can't know. Maybe you lick the electrical outlet and candy will
maybe,
come out.
maybe it will give you superpowers. Wow.
You fucking rape your shame to that fencer, dude. Fucking. You shouldn't have rape your splaining.
Fucking rapier explaining.
Alright, we've been on this for fucking ages. Do you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
any more you want to say about it?
No, I think I'm spent.
Alright.
One of these days, I'm gonna do. Like, I actually have this video idea shelved where I wanted to really trigger a few philosophers by explaining, by explaining the evolution of the concept of true justified beliefs over time and its culminations in critical rationalism and things that came afterwards in 2 minutes, in 2 fucking minutes.
Let's get Ritualist to draw a skit where I'm throwing a stone and I say, if I throw this stone 10,000 times a year, and then you boot down the door and go, no, you faggot! You can't know! You can't know! And then you just run away
Okay,
doing a crab walk.
let's just remove Popper from this because I don't want to besmirch his good name. Let's just say that is critical laymanism. Critical laymanism is literally you can't
Oh,
know.
well, brilliant. Fucking, is that it there? Is that your fucking OTP? Fucking Weber and Popper? They call it
Kinda,
wave
yeah.
popping. Who's the top and who's the bottom?
Both are both.
Ooh, kinky. Get all your favourite fucking philosopher, rational science men, and get them to form the man train, baby. Ooh. That's how we do it. That's how science works. And don't say that you won't have any science discoveries for that because you don't know. Dick.
But you don't know.
You put enough dicks in people's asses, you might learn something. There you go. Nullus Vitae says, who are these guys? Are they ex-military? Fuck off, Nullus, you asshole. Layman, did it lose you?
No, you didn't. I'm currently trying not to laugh at the super chat. You know what? Let's pound through the super chats real quick before we get back to talking about how we need to gas all black people. Ayo, layman. More like gay man. LOL. Haha, I'm so funny. Holds up sociological. What? What do we do? Haha ha. About the Jew. Well, Gingiberticus, I don't know. What do we do about the Jews? I think you should make another donation with $14.88 and let us know what we should do about the Jews. That is my opinion. Also, speaking of super chats, I should check if anyone fucking did anything. That would be good. Good start. Huh, we got some.
Oh god, it's still February, I don't get paid.
Yeah, you're not getting shit. You're not getting shit. So, but by the way, guys, if you feel like it, that would be a good opportunity to support me because I kind of fucked up my own life. I'm not gonna blame anyone else. Gotta take responsibility. That's my opinion on that. And I'm not gonna get paid until late March. So if you wanna buy me some more Coke, and I'm not talking about the drink, then yeah, this is a good opportunity to do so. Xenofire says, "What is the recipe for hot meat?" Nuka, you're the hot meat expert.
Alright, well, you take your cold meat and then you make it hot.
How hot?
Hotter.
That's the most Scottish thing I've ever heard. Well, how hot? Hotter. Nice.
Not cold. I will fight you in Pokemon, Phoenix Shaman. Fucking meet me after the show. I'm a fucking pierce your neck hole with my Charizard. Fuck off.
The fucking Charizard. Jesus. Right.
My
Pragmatic
fucking
culture says.
Charizard.
Pragmatic culture says, if we send you papers to look at live, if we give you the title and authors, or do you need the PDFs? Technically, I just need the DOI. I can just use Sci-Hub to look it up. But it's something that I don't like doing. Like, I know that a lot of people like doing that, and they like those cheap gotcha moments where it's like, aha, in this abstract, they said something that sounds kind of silly. And I think that's really not doing it justice. If it passed peer review, you should read the paper in its entirety, and that usually takes like actually reading a paper takes like half an hour to an hour to properly understand it, look at the citations, and like properly digest it. So it would be like basically an hour of just me silently sitting there and at times looking up a term, looking up the history of authors, the history of the journal, and trying to understand it. So it would be very boring for people. But I definitely like if there's something that you find funny or hilarious, uh, let me know, and if I find it funny or hilarious too, I can put it in one of my streams and prepare to talk about it.
What's it called? Fucking, we've got the follow up super chat. Ha ha ha! I did the meme number. Ha 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 ha! Echo quotes Legoy. Am I right? Ha ha ha! Echo quotes Legoy. Ha! I did the meme. Eggplant, eggplant, eggplant. eggplant, 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 egg.
You actually did the right number of eggplants. I was counting. I'm actually pretty impressed.
No, I, I,
Yes,
I, I thought I fucked up halfway through.
that is one of the most Rick and Morty things I've ever seen, to be honest.
I turned myself into an eggplant emoji, Morty. Fucking borrowed city of your mum.
Todd Jones, Layman hates his audience, which is quite understandable, probably in reference to me ignoring the chat. I am not ignoring the chat. The problem is keeping up with things everywhere. Um, yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up with things. Consider yourself noticed, you absolute leech. You shouldn't be here if you want to be. No, this is Senpai. But yeah, consider yourself noticed.
If you're really skint, why don't you get somebody to take a commission
Mm-hmm,
to look at a paper, sit down, wait for like an hour or whatever, and then do a
mm-hmm,
wee stream afterwards where you give your just afterthoughts after there. You clarify,
mm-hmm.
I've just read this paper, I've only looked at it for an hour, and this is just my hot, fucking tasty, fresh thoughts on it, or whatever, and do commissions like that. If you're just hunting for money at the hang to do that. Which
I
you
mean,
think?
I could, but yeah, I could, but I don't know if it. I think the money in that context could interfere with my neutrality. I think I'm afraid it may do that. So I will try to be more sensationalist than I need to be, and I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you could date them for a fucking private thing or whatever, but fucking people expect you to be honest. That's what we like about you.
I mean, it's something that I have to think about. Um,
I mean, look at you now. Like fucking, you're not. You know, fucking, you're. I'm scared of being biased. You know what I mean? Like fucking.
yeah, I am fucking horrified.
Like man, I'm fucking shit to other people that give money all the time. You get what you get. Nobody gets special treatment.
I know that's really not what I mean. I mean, I'm too retarded for this. Let's do Q&A.
Layman,
There's
Layman
one thing.
senpai, I want you to look at this paper. I found it really interesting, stuff like that. And you sit down and read it and like, this is the most retarded fucking basic bit shit I've ever read in my fucking life. And they're like, well, did it strike a chord with you, Layman senpai? And you're like,
Did it strike a chord with
fucking. It made me want to fucking deep throat my collection of fucking swords. Fucking is what it did.
There is a question that I would like to deal with. I promise to deal with it. It's by African American of the Moon. It's in the Discord chat, so I don't expect you to find it. It's kind of hard to find. He says, so the Q&A stream is tonight, and I do have some questions for Dr. Layman, specifically in regards to the long list of his positions / biases he posted yesterday. Naka, could you go to my Ask FM and show the list of biases?
I
I
guess I
can see
could.
if I can find the link myself really quick.
I've
Let me
got.
go
I
to
know
the.
that your Ask FM. I love your Ask FM where it's just like, are you okay? To most of the response. Like, why did you side with the SJWs? My squiggly line, it's still there. Why are we here?
Just to suffer. Right, so for those of you who don't know, I'm kind of annoyed at the moment by people that scream fence sitter at me. Not that it like emotionally is taxing or anything, but it's like you have not watched any of my content or listened to any of my content. Um, I think it's counterproductive to go into a conversation and be like, I have made up my mind. I will now argue for this position. Because you're not learning anything, you're not being constructive. Instead, suspend everything you think to know and try to work with the opposition to achieve some sort of constructive understanding of things.
I'm terrified of fucking writing anything. Like, well, especially writing anything because I'm crap with text. Well, you already know how bad I am with fucking voice. But
Ye-
just like talking about something I'm not sure about, I like to make sure that I know what I'm talking about before I put it out there. Or if
ye-
I'm making a comment on it, I need to clarify from what I've seen so far, or whatever. Like, just got to be very fucking careful with that shit. You can't just jump out like that, or make yourself look like a massive cock.
oh yeah, absolutely. And there's something that really annoys me about the sort of debate culture that we have at the moment, where it's like very opinionated people screaming at each other instead of trying to work together to understand things. Because, like, the arrogance, the audacity you have to have the assumption, you know what? There's like a good 12,000 years of society, of civilization before me, but now I, a bedroom dwelling fucking failure at life that does YouTube videos, now I have all the answers. It's like, dude, you are the definition of delusions of grandeur, to be honest.
I am the truth, to be honest.
I am the truth, yeah. Right.
Somebody
Uh,
sent me a video of Andy Worski fucking yesterday where he was actually yelling about that because of YouTube. And he was yelling, I am the truth! And I'm like, okay, Andy, fair enough.
um,
Your Ask FM's
right.
up.
Yeah, lovely. So, African American, African American of the Moon. He's asking about specific parts of my list of biases. First, how do you plan on scientifying politics whilst simultaneously depoliticizing science? So, the slogan, "Scientify politics, depoliticize science," is an old slogan that me and a bunch of friends have developed, and it essentially refers to two very simple processes, really, like at least theoretically very simple processes. At the moment, politics, both on a societal and on an individual level, and on an institutional level even, have an impact on science, which is a big problem, really. So you, for example, if you decide to pursue a, say, controversial field of academia, you may be shamed not only in the academic establishment, but even like in a sort of broad social context. Um, Even though your work may be good, because it's socially unacceptable, you may face consequences for that. Of course, also journals often have a monetary incentive and economic incentive, so they often don't publish just about anything, but they try to look for things that are really sort of juicy in an academic sense. If you want to know more about this, for example, look up Veritasium on p hacking. I'm gonna drop it in the chat real quick. Veritasium p hacking. He made a lovely video uh, on the topic of p hacking. Where
P
was it?
hacking?
Oh yeah, p value. It's a bit
Can the
complicated.
Russians hack your P?
Yes, they can.
Oh yeah. Also,
And
look, I saw that there.
what
Fucking JF would destroy Layman. Fuck off. Layman ain't a fucking debater. He doesn't go out and fucking dance about and fucking retarded things like that. We've got our own retarded streams to dance about on. God damn it.
I don't know. Like I find some of the stuff that JF wrote really interesting. But it would be like he would be explaining things to me like, like to a monkey. Like I have literally, unironically, no understanding of biology whatsoever. So the only thing I could do would be like, "Oh, that is very interesting. Please tell me more." So if that is destroying someone or something, then yeah, that's okay. Anyway, and we need to try and better. You can always improve the academic establishment, and we should try to remove those personal, institutional, and societal pressures on research as much as we can. This also includes, and I'm a complete militant radical in this regard. I think that there is no research that is inherently worthless. If you want to make a research that measures the average circumference of assholes worldwide, uh, go ahead. If you want to measure the influence of snorting coke on the rising prices of rice in China, go ahead. Um, Society has no right to dictate what you can and cannot research. The moment you make a value judgment about saying, you know what, we're not going to research this gender stuff, we're not going to research this human stuff, we're just going to research motors. In that moment, you already screwed up your science beyond all repair. That's what I mean by depoliticize science. And by scientific politics, I mean the absolute vast majority of political decisions are not based on findings, on data, on research, on empirical facts, quote unquote facts, but on rhetoric, on calculation, on rational decision making but more in the lines of what can I do to get elected again, and not in the lines of what is the best decision. Um, and what I would like to see is both in the public debate and on a governmental level to drop all this rhetoric and demagoguery and all this useless shit and actually argue with data, because that's something that's really dearly missing. I used and I at times still do watch parliamentary debates of various countries, and it's completely atrocious that people are able to talk about a really important decision for a good 4 hours without mentioning a single paper, without mentioning a single number. It immediately devolves into a mud flinging fest where it's like, but your party did this. Well, my party stands for freedom. We would never do this. And it's like, yeah, that's very nice, but what about the data? What does the research say about this? And that's what I mean by scientific politics.
Have you considered that I do not associate with this?
Wow, that is nice.
Yeah. Also, I tuned out for the first half of that when you were talking about it, and all I heard was anal circumference. And then afterwards, I realised people were like preach it, and then a bunch of people were like preach it, Layman, or I call bullshit, or whatever. And then somebody said JF would wreck Layman, but since Layman is German, he would win because, like, fucking being French, JF would give up and run away before the debate's over. Don't know, are the French scared of Cuxembergians?
I don't know. No one's scared of Cuxembergians, to be honest.
Nobody even knows what fucking Luxembourgians even are.
Like, honest to God, like people think that it's like a province of Germany or France, and it's like, no, my dude, I'm like from a country. It's called Luxembourg. Like it's its own thing. We even have like a we got a castle and stuff.
Public space.
Right. Let me just go through those questions real quick. The second question is, what merit do you see in punitive justice as opposed to rehabilitative? Is the greater good of masses that important? So this refers to a point that I made in my biases thing on Ask FM, where I said that at times punitive justice is okay, it's justified. Um, Let me preface that by saying that rehabilitative justice is more effective. It's both more effective and efficient on every level. It, it even if you look at like the core characteristic of our current idea of how justice works, which is recidivism, if you fall back to crime after your sentence or not, rehabilitative justice is superior in every regard. But here's the thing: imagine if you were to implement a rehabilitative justice in a country like the Democratic Republic of Congo, or Chad, Nigeria, or even Uganda. The mentality of those countries is still very much in a punitive mindset. And while it is more effective to be rehabilitative, it would be like the quote unquote right thing to do. You would upset the locals to such a degree that, in my opinion, the upsetting, the riots that you would cause are not worth the good that you would get from this. At least not in a long and mid-term way of thinking. In the long term, yeah, definitely, but short and mid-term, no. So, for example, we actually have somewhat similar examples of this in the United States. Cop shoots black kid, cop doesn't get sentenced, riots. I'm not passing any judgment on the judge's decision. I don't really care. But imagine that, but with every decision that is not punitive in many societies. And that's what I meant by that. I'm not saying that we should just you steal a piece of candy and you get a cut your hand off. No, 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 no. Rehabilitative justice, if the country can bear it, if the people can bear it. But in many situations, the society is not willing to bear it. And any sort of benefits that you will get from rehabilitative justice will be offset by social unrest that you will cause. Does that make any sense? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yeah, sure. Don't know, I was like, yes. In the chat, people were talking about shitting on Luxembourg and shitting on Scotland. Somebody's like, Scotland, it's a joke, let's be honest. If it's a joke, why am I not laughing?
That's true.
Like, to be honest.
I'm sorry for the monologue. I just wanna
No, it's fine. Just
experience.
prepare me for it, because when I get back for looking at the chat, I realise, oh fuck, he's monologuing. And then I'm at the halfway point, and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck is he talking about?
Right. Okay. Monologue time. You can zone off. You can go watch a lolly hen.
uh,
Third, why do you think the only thing we have to do is die? I, for one, am a transhumanist and would much prefer us striving to prolong a single human lifetime as much as possible with the help of technology. So, develop that technology is what we must do. As I've written in this quote, one of my sort of central ideas, we established that it's somewhat Kierkegaardian idea, is everything in life is optional, completely optional. It's optional if you get born. You don't have to eat. You can just die. You don't have to breathe. You don't have to breathe. You don't have to do anything. There's only one absolute certainty, and that is death. Everything else is just. I'm not trying to be edgy. Like "Oh, we all gonna die. No, it's like it's literally the only certain thing for us at the moment, and that is all that I wanted to say with that. It's like
uh,
um,
can I just say, how do you know? If 10 billion people
how do
died,
you know?
how do you know? How do you
Karl
know?
Popper kicks. I mean, technically, you can't know.
Karl Popper pops in with a defibrillator. Clear! Fuck you!
Get debunked, Kierkegaard. That would be hilarious.
Fucking comes in and just fucking boots Death in the face. Get fucked. Once you pop, you just can't stop. You go.
Right.
Also, I want to clarify what when I said if like, Scotland's a joke. To be honest, why am I not laughing? That wasn't me getting offended because I'm Scottish or anything like that. I do not like Scotland. I think Scotland is a fucking shithole. I hate what's happening with Dankula. I fucking dislike the SNP. I think the Scottish independence shit and then wanting to join the EU is fucking moronic. Scotland's a shithole, and I do not have any sort of nationalistic sentiment towards it. I'm no like Dankula. I don't know what he sees in it. I even told him, and I'm like, mate, you're like a beaten spouse at this point. Why do you keep going back to it? Yeah.
That's racist. Right. And I think I've given this post enough enough attention. Give me questions, Kakalevi. Give me questions.
Oh, fuck for the Q&A. Right, okay, sorry. You fucking Mongolog. Dear Dr. Layman, why isn't Aiden Paladin on your stream?
Because she is busy. I wanted to have her and talk about filter bubbles, but she's busy at the moment. So yeah.
Too busy getting ready to play Don't Starve together with me. Fuck you.
Wow, that's kind of racist.
Dear Dr. Layman, you said that you love guns and your list of biases. What do you own and what are your favourites?
So I'm not gonna dox myself here. I own quite a few historical pieces. When I say historical, it's basically anything between 1860 up until 1945. I also own several more modern ones. I'm not really willing to talk about it. So here's the thing. I like shooting them. It's mostly a sort of hobby for me because I can't have them with me in Germany at the moment because I'm spending some time in Germany, so I'm keeping them in another country. Completely legal, of course. I wouldn't fucking have guns illegally. That would be one of the stupidest things you could do in the EU. Um, yeah, it's mostly a hobby for me. I don't even like if I could, I would use them for self defense, but I can't, so I don't. Yeah.
Must be nice. Fucking guns and shit. Never saw the appeal myself.
I mean, it's like when I started out, it was like kind of boring to me. It was just like you pull the trigger, it's loud as fuck, and a tiny hole appears in a target far, far away. But by now, like the entire technical process, like the one gun I'm willing to admit that I own is actually a we call it papasha. That's like the sort of slang name. The PPSH 41. It's a Soviet submachine gun, and I own a completely original one. The only thing that was changed out is the barrel by now. Of course, the barrel had to be changed by now. But it even has, I don't know the proper English term for that, but the recoil spring bumper, stopper. I don't know the English term for that.
Stock?
It's
With something inside the
no, no, no,
stock?
no, no. It's the internal mechanism that that essentially
Yeah, the donkey
the
flinch.
bolt stopper, bolt bumper.
The,
I don't
don-
know the English term.
the donkey
Never
flinch.
mind. Your mum gay. That is original wood from fucking Leningrad. That thing saw action in Leningrad, which is fucking incredible. And it's completely original. Like even the magazine is original. Lovely, absolutely lovely piece. Um, and loading that thing is one of the most hilarious things ever. It's like you've got this round magazine on your lap. You have to wind it up like a fucking clock, and then and you start like over the process of like tedious minutes putting it bullet after bullet. And if you accidentally move it, all bullets fall just over, and you can kind of start over from the beginning. I'm not very good at loading it. It's super tedious, but once it's loaded, it's so much fun to shoot it. It kicks like a mule. It stinks, and it's incredible. I love it.
What's more fun than history? History, you can kill people.
Kinda.
Dear Dr. Layman, which Dark Souls is your favourite, and why do you think that it is Dark Souls 1?
Official ranking: Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Power Gap, Dark Souls 2. Um,
You need to buy fucking Dark Souls 3 and play it
I
properly
know,
instead of being
yeah,
like a wee butthole fucking playing it there. Come play it with me.
I should, but I don't really have the time at the moment. I'm kind of broke. I need to work. I
Fix your
gotta.
Steam as well so we can play Payday.
I should.
Who are
Right,
these
so
guys? Ex-sociologists?
so I like Dark Souls 1 because um, while the other ones are more fancy, they are more fun. Dark Souls 1 is, I think, the Dark Souls formula, in my opinion, kind of perfected. Um, it's easy on the requirements. You can easily play it on a computer, and if you've got a controller, computer edition is actually pretty decent. There's a DS fix, and you can play it in a pretty decent way on the computer. Um, it's easy to get into and exceptionally hard to master, and it's just like I'm actually working on a video on Dark Souls. It's this sort of synergy between mechanic, setting, and story that is just lacking in the other installments of the series. It's like it's hard to explain. I just love Dark Souls 1.
Oh no,
Everything
no,
about it is great.
it's a fantastic game. Fantastic game.
Absolutely.
Also, I kept meaning to ask you, fucking, with your boss listings of what the ones you like there, what's the Nameless King rank?
Nameless King.
Yeah, the Nameless
What do you
King.
mean?
The hidden boss and probably the hardest one in Dark Souls 3, apart from the Sister Fried.
Oh, I haven't fought him.
You fucking, do you know anything about him?
I heard this theory. Isn't he like supposed to be like a relative of Gwyn?
Fucking mate, it's Gwen's firstborn.
Yeah, okay.
It's literally the cunt that praised the sun dude's fucking worship.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
And
Is he fun? Is he fun to fight?
he's hard as balls.
That sounds like fun.
Like it's a two-phase fight. He comes in riding on a giant fucking like fire wyvern because he's basically like God King of the Dragons at this point, which is why a lot of people reckon why like Gwyn disowned him. And then fucking after you kill that, he just fucking it just comes down and he just goes to town on your ass. Like, by the way, that was another weird thing. See, Ornstein, like you get his armor and it basically talks about how he just fucking left Anor Londo and went off to go look for him. And I'm like, I thought Ornstein was dead. But that's the other thing there. Like, fucking, if nobody can die, do the bosses not die? What's the deal? How does that work?
I don't fucking know.
Well, you're doing fucking videos and shit like that, and we were sitting talking with Aiden about it for ages.
I'm I'm talking about the psychological effects. I'm not talking about the fucking law. Can you fuck off?
We talked about the law,
Yeah,
bitch.
because we're autistic nerds, but yeah.
Yeah, don't pretend. Don't you fucking pretend, you slut.
I'm gonna
Okay?
fight you.
Don't you fucking let do that, you fucking statistics witch.
You know what? You know what? 1v1 me Zweihänder only.
Oh yeah, fucking bitch, I'll distract you with the fucking social ramifications of fucking gay traffic cones.
Honest to God, like, you can't even parry. What the fuck do you want from me? You
What?
literally are unable to parry. That's all I have to say about you.
Yeah, I don't parry because I don't need to. I'll still kick your ass.
You don't need to parry. You absolute piece of shit. I bet you don't even switch between one and a two-handed, you absolute leech.
What? Oh, I never use one-handed. Fuck you. I don't need it.
I can't believe you said
No, I'll tell you what I actually do though in Dark Souls 3, because we used to do the thing where we would set up in New Game Plus and just
that.
sit at the very first area of Dark Souls 3, cover it in the shiny pebbles, and then just summon people in. And then just my assistants and stuff like that would park there. And the beautiful thing about it is, like, when they'd come in, you'd be fighting like a phantom or whatever, and you'd be the host sitting up in one of the higher bits. A red dude would run over, realise what was happening, and just come up and just sit next to you and wait for his turn.
Nice.
And we'd just have tons of fight clubs. It was fucking amazing, and that was before they added in like the proper multiplayer mode. But what I would do
Cool,
when there
sexy.
was a ton of like parry cunts and shit like that, or like if I wanted to psych people out, I would have the cestus in my other hand, and I would switch to one-handed, and then just throw out a few like fake parries just to basically like psych them out, to make them think that I'm gonna parry, then just immediately switch back to two-handed and just rape the fuck out of them when I've fucked their entire style of play. Because they think I'm going to be defensive when I'm actually just an incredibly offensive player.
Oh yeah, just bash their heads in, yeah.
Aye, fuck. That's the way to go, man.
Right, there are a few more super chats. So if you feel like supporting your favorite sociologist, donate to Crash Course Sociology. No, fucking give me money. I need money. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Right. TK Mao says, when's that takedown of autoethnographies coming? There will be a video on autoethnographies. Basically, it's so it's the common use is something like, I have no idea what to do with my life. I'm gonna write a short story about how I feel and submit it to a journal, and they'll publish it. So one of my absolutely favorite things is an autoethnography where someone describes in about maybe 15 lines how they spent some time in their local library. And it's like, I was sitting there, I ate a banana, I got up and went home. Now, with that said, I think in a few thousand years, that's going to be super interesting. Like, we're having this sort of quote unquote peer reviewed look into the soul of people. It's going to be super interesting, but at the moment, it's largely useless and should not be published in any.
The dark soul of peer review.
Yeah, yeah, but it's more like, yeah, no, it's just stupid. Fox says, yup, says isopod hour, please. Naka, do you have to happen a picture of an isopod that you could put up? Do you have anything like that?
Yes, I will find. Does he want a kawaii
Yes.
isopod, or does he want? Oh no, I'll just find some isopods.
Just find a sexy isopod. Fence sitter says, suck me sociologically, daddy. Daddy with an I. Sure, if you're cute, definitely. Psychotic Cognition 100 says, hi, Dr. Layman. I enjoy your talk with Destiny. I did too. I went in, I was like, a lot of people were trying to hype me up and be like, Destiny is an abomination in the eyes of the Lord. He will try to destroy you. You have to uphold the honor of the skeptics and meet him in the field of battle. And I was like, no. Literally, no. I just want to talk to him and find out what he's all about. And it was a really interesting talk. Simply and only in the context of the talk, he seems like a definitely reasonable person. Like, in the talk, there was nothing that was like completely out of touch, in my opinion. I didn't really enjoy that he often talked about people that I associate with. Like, the talk about association, yeah, that was interesting, but him at times mentioning, like, rather, several times mentioning Sargon, for example, was it put me in a really weird position. Like, I don't want to be like a fucking lapdog like some other people and try to protect anyone. Like, people can protect themselves. But he was kind of pushing me in that direction. That was a little bit uncomfy for me, but other than that, fantastic talk. Definitely great talk.
Yeah.
Joe Neverton, are there any studies that you think people should read? Similarly, top 5 books you would recommend? Naka 2. From my perspective, I'm actually working on something. There are certain studies that you should have read, but I will publish them in the future. There's one study I can recommend off the top of my head, which is by Michael Hartmann. He's a German sociologist, and it's called The Sociology of Elites. He basically looks at how the social, cultural, political, and economic elites of the world function. And he finds that it's not like merit and everyone can become an elite. No, it's hierarchy, it's tradition, it's inherited, it's behavior, and they are basically a class of their own. Naka, do you have any top 5 books everyone should have read?
Fucking, just literally anything by Terry Pratchett. Fud was always, I really liked Fud. Anything with Moist One Litvig or whatever series was really good. Anything to do with the Watch, to be honest, the Watch is fucking great. In the Discworld series. Oh, fucking, I love that shit now. But most of my time nowadays, I just fucking, to be honest, I just read fuck tons of manga because it's just all over the place. I've read so many fucking different. It's just literally what I do in my free time. But I've read so many fucking, like, just so much different shit over the time. Shit that I don't even remember reading. It's just.
I mean, technically, we can definitely agree on Berserk and anything by Junji Ito, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. Right.
Also, we have a kawaii isopod on the screen.
Oh, that actually is kawaii. I appreciate that. Thank you, Naka.
Look at it. It looks like a tiny elf. It's isopod elf-chan.
Nice.
F-support.
Right. James M. Hey, Leikunk, how many Anglo babies have you eaten, you lip tart? No, sorry. Hey, Leikunk, how many Anglo babies have you eaten, you lip tart? Not a single one. I don't. Leftists, imagine my shock. No, I don't eat babies. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Did you read Loki?
Have you even read Heidegger? it's a good meme. It's a good.
If you've read Popper 1,000 times, can you really say that you've read Popper?
Fuck off! Suddenly, Popper kicks down the door. You have to read it 1,000 times.
Popper kicks down the door and goes, "Fuck." Can people say, have you read that Popper book? Is it any good? Not really.
I don't know.
You just have to go lie down in a corner and hug your Rick and Morty box set. Just pray to Jesus.
Right. Gingy Burger says, how important are guns in defense of tyranny? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Historically speaking, super important. Yeah, definitely. But I don't know if they are still that important. I would argue yes, because even like the element of deterrence is kind of important, because if you are a cop and your superior tells you go and do something tyrannical to an unarmored populace, that is something completely different than if your superior tells you, you know what, go into the redneck neighborhood where everyone owns a heavy machine gun and you take your pistol and be an asshole to them. So I would say that still, yes, gun play a role in the deterrence of tyrannical measures. At least in the United States, of course. And Fentiter again, are traps Lovecraftian? Yes.
I want to see Ito Junji fucking do a manga about like, fucking dating a girl that might have a dick.
It's kind of odd.
Like, just like the fucking, those ominous shots and stuff like that with the colours and the paneling and like around like the fucking mini skirt area. Like, what's it called? Where fucking, and then just like the looks at the face. Kinda like his cat diary.
Oh, the cat diary was fucking retarded. I loved it.
I love the cat diary as well. It was fucking brilliant. Oh, it's good to know that he can dab on himself like that, you know. He doesn't take himself too seriously. Layman, you still there?
I am still there, and I think you should die.
So-
1776 will commence at once if you reptilian redcoats try to take our guns.
I saw something in the chat much earlier on that said fucking Shogun 2 is the best visual novel.
Yeah, it actually is. Press 1776 to be blessed by the god of war. Automatic rifles and high velocity ammunition will come to you, but only if you type 1776.
Oh man.
Right. Are there any more questions, Kakalevi?
Mate, there's fucking hundreds of them because every time we get like one fucking social science thing, we go on like a fucking half-hour tirade. Dear Dr. Layman, can you say we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children?
Give me 1 second. I have to find the tweet. I don't know it by heart. Yes. More shekels, please. I can say we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white lollies. I mean children.
Dear Dr. Layman, Nazball gang? Question mark.
Gang, gang, gang. Next question.
Also, I want to point out that it has the descending A-Z-B-O-I
Jesus.
G-A-N-G question mark. Dear Dr. Layman, how could you be so educated on civilizations and yet have been so wrong on postmodernism?
Right, so the postmodernism thing is actually a meme that I kind of like. It's on one stream with Andy Warski and JF, we kind of got together, and I think it was mainly JF that had this idea, without explaining why, we should propagate the idea that I was completely wrong in postmodernism and that Greg has all the answers, essentially. So I even issued like a public apology to Greg, and I turned into a religious believer into esoteric Gregorism. So
I love that question came from at 1488 when.
yeah, fucking at 1488 when.
And his display name is 14 Lightning Bolt 88.
Jesus, that's fucking
You are
ridiculous.
a red pilled nibber, my man.
Hey, also, I figured out just yesterday. I found out that a few communists, like proper Marxists, are watching my content. So if you're watching right now, hello, welcome to this absolute shit show. Give me a next question, Kakalevi.
I thought it'd be fun. Dear Dr. Layman, can you tell V to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure yet? The guy complains about Dragon Ball Super
I'm gonna
constantly
cut you off right there.
and believes Attack on Titan is the greatest anime of all time. Also, watch the Monogatari series as it is postmodern.
Okay, I've watched Big Anything Monogatari. It's good. It's overrated, but it's really good.
I've watched a few episodes of it.
I don't want to talk about V. This is a V-free zone. Please. He's got enough streams as is. Okay.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Super is fucking garbage. I actually watched it. I actually watched an episode before it came on. I actually still read Attack on Titan. I never watched the anime, but obviously I saw the opening for the first one.
The first season was pretty good. Of Shingeki no Kyojin was actually really good. The manga gets kind of shitty. Like, it's fucking retarded by now.
The manga's fucking weird. I've got no real idea what's happening. They're on the mainland right now, and they're basically just killing all the people there. It's just like Titan shifters and shit like that now, and it's like, what's happening?
You know, that's something that really upset me. Okay. So the first, like, I watched the anime before I read the manga, admittedly, and the first episodes of the anime are absolutely fantastic because
spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah, definitely spoilers. I don't care. It's really interesting. It's super fresh and original. You are in this complete position of desperation, right? Everyone's dying. Everyone's failing. your protagonists are being killed off on screen, or people that you may think are protagonists. Everything is just dying, and you're like, holy fuck, this is incredible. We are losing, right? It's just normal people against a completely overpowered foe. And right as you're about to basically just jizz in your pants from the sheer originality of losing, its superpowers, they turn into giant biomechanical mechas, and it's Japanese. It's just fucking Japanese, and they ruin everything.
Gundam Build Fighters is the best anime of all time.
Can't believe you said this. Next question. Go, go, go.
By the way, did I tell you that fucking Levy and what Mikasa or whatever, like the Ackermans are like superhumans? Like,
Yes, they are, because they are Asian.
Oh yeah, of course. Ah, so this is what it truly means to be a weep.
Yeah.
Pipe intensifies.
Ah, yeah.
When you do that, I'm going to get a bagpipe cover of that tune. I will find a Scotsman out there to
This
play a
would be
bagpipe
to be
cover.
Scottish. Hello, Layford.
Hello.
How can I help you?
Hi, Leifort.
You're not going. No, fuck off. No, fuck off. No, fuck off. Leave. Leave.
Tell Leifort I said hi.
Fuck off and leave. You know what? Fuck off.
Beat her ass. Beat her ass. Tiptoe through the thing me. Da, 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 da. Jesus Christ. Yeah, pretty much. Get back here, you fucking retard. Everybody go on to Layman's Ask FM and pretend to be Paul Joseph Watson fans. Like, write the most asinine shit about it, and then when he complains to me on Discord, I'll put out a tweet about it. Okay? Everybody, can you do that for me? Like, go on Ask FM and fuck with.
I literally tried to make Laythought be gone, but she doesn't want to be gone.
Nope.
Fuck off! I think it's time to kill the stream, to be honest.
Alright, well, chat, remember what I said? Come on.
What did you say?
I never said anything. You just beat your woman.
I actually kind of did. I tried to beat her out of the room, but she just
I
wanted
was
to
going to
walk.
say, can you even overpower her with your fucking frail sickness?
I can't believe you said this. I genuinely can't believe you said this. Right, give me more questions, Kakalevi. Let's power through, let's say 5 more. Just randomly select 5. And then we'll get to the patrons.
You don't want to do the lightning round?
Let's do the lightning round right now.
Okay. Dear Dr. Layman, I know this has little to do with the topic at hand, but do you enjoy games of any sort?
I really like very complex and challenging games. Basically any sort of simulation. I enjoy Dark Souls. I enjoy most of the grand strategy games like Hearts of Iron, Victoria, Europa Universalis. Yeah, I just like really complicated games, I guess.
Porn games.
Dear Doctor, fuck off, Leifort. Dear Dr. Layman, is Merkel importing Muslims so she can use them to secretly Holocaust the
I
Jews?
fucking hate you!
Using that as a pretext to Holocaust the Muslims.
I have no idea, but yeah, definitely. Next question. Definitely.
Dear Dr. Layman, yesterday you tweeted a list of your biases, included that you wanted the current political decision-making framework torn down and started over. What would you prefer to take its place, ideally?
Okay, so I like a lot of the underlying structure. I think it's rather sound to have representative democracy in the context of a republic, for example. I was mostly referring to the way that I've talked about it in this stream before. decisions are not made by merit; they are made by popularity, by rhetoric, and that is one of the things that we have to kind of tear down and replace. Um, Anyone is essentially at fault for this, both the right wing and the left wing and everyone in between, that they put their ideology first and data second. And we need to focus on data. We need to focus on actual findings and not on our shitty feelings when doing politics.
Dear Dr. Layman, what Pokemon would you have sexual relationship with?
Your mum, next one.
Fourth, cynical historian said in a video that part of the job of a good historian is to be a sociologist of the past. Would you agree with this, and why/why not? And he's also put a picture, but we're skipping over that. Sorry, Fourth.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that because that's one of the sort of interdisciplinary things. If you only look at society from a sociological lens, you will miss the historical aspects of it and you will miss the evolution of things. If you look at history only from a historical perspective and not from a sociological perspective, you again will be limited in the findings that you can generate. I think it's super interesting to look at how societies used to operate in the past so we can understand where we are coming from right now.
Dear Dr. Layman, removing which of the following colours would would better the world the most? White, yellow, brown, or black?
No, next.
Dear Dr. Layman, hey doctor, can you explain to me why civic nationalism gets shit on so much? I consider myself a nationalist and an American patriot, but see that no one takes civic nationalism seriously.
You gotta ask yourself, who's no one, right? I know that a lot of the sort of ethnic nationalists are super vocal about their dislike of civic nationalism, but like that's your belief. Don't let anyone else's opinion or ridicule change your belief. If they got arguments to change that, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Up.
But just honest to God, don't give a fuck if anyone's laughing about you.
DDLC Best Girl, Doki Doki Literature Club, Best Girl.
Have not played it yet. We'll play soon.
Dear Dr. Layman, I am quite curious, but what are your thoughts on monarchism and its various forms, be they, pardon me, constitutional, semi-constitutional, feudal, etc., etc.? No main question, mind you. I'm quite curious of your stance of it as a science, Layman.
Right. So, you cut out there for a split second. I'm quite curious, but what are your thoughts on monarchism, various forms, be they constitutional, semi-constitutional, feudal, etc., etc.? It can potentially be a very efficient and effective form of governance, but only potentially. The problem is, like, on the one hand, you have a high degree of accountability. If things go south, just kill your monarch. But at the same time, you have a rather low degree of participation. This can be especially bad if the disagreements that you have with your monarch do not warrant a violent revolt, right? So if your monarch is like, you know what, we should just dissolve all McDonald's and Burger King stores that we have in this country, and you're like, no, but I'm a fat American fuck. I need my McDonald's and Burger King. Then that's kind of shitty to you. I don't think it's a horrible form of governance, but I think there are far superior forms of governance. But we should not dismiss it. And here's the thing: if a country decides to keep it, if the people are happy with their monarchy, then no one has a right to force them to abandon that monarchy.
Well, it's worse than a benevolent dictatorship because fucking monarchy's generally passed down by royal line, isn't it? Royal succession.
Mm.
But yeah, can't go into it too much. Lightning round. Fucking. Dear Dr. Layman, dear Dr. Layman, which firearms do you think would be the most suitable for high school teachers to wield, and should librarians use silencers?
Okay, so here's the thing. Take. What we're gonna take? Take an elephant rifle, like anything like caliber 60 upwards. Cut down the barrel, cut off the stock, and give it a pistol grip. Whatever that thing is called, that is very adequate for self-defense in a school situation. Next question.
Dear Dr. Layman,
That's gonna be the last one, so be good.
Okay then. Alright, well, fucking, I want to answer one because it caught my interest, and there was one that, which was going to be the last one, but I had to update the list, and it was the last one on the list, so. This is from Skulk again. Dear Dr. Layman, hey girl, you like to get that pussy ate?
Dr. Layman, hey girl, you like to get that pussy ate? No. I. Yes? I don't know.
And
Thank you, thank you. Skulk is an amazing artist, by the way. So.
his work's beautiful, man. Fucking, I
Yes,
fucking love it.
absolutely. Right. I'm gonna pound through
I
this.
want to do this Thames one as well because it was the last one before the last thing
Okay, go
that
ahead,
would
go
have been
ahead.
the last one if it wasn't for Skulk. Thames says, Dear Dr. Layman, what do you think of the psychology study done at the University of Boulder linking participation in the sport fencing to small penis size? Didn't know that said that. Sorry.
No problem. Like, here's the thing: if it is an actual study, then I am not surprised in the least because Olympic fencers are among the most gay people that I've ever met. And I'm not talking about like the good kind of gay, like the layman kind of gay, where it's just research, chill, and suck a dick or something like. I'm talking. My parents gave me an inheritance
Faggots.
of $15 million
Faggots.
reduce. Yeah, no, I am. Yeah, I call it fencing, but I'm literally trying to touch each other with a wobbly piece of sheet metal. Haha. It's like, no, no, you are disgusting. You are ruining my hobby. You are a disgrace to martial arts.
But there's
So
a
yeah, if they're small dicked, I'm not surprised.
but there's a ball in the end, Layman.
I mean, you can't. Like, here's the thing: if you hammer down the tip of a rapier that's used for training, that makes a lot of sense because with that blade, penetrating meat with a stab is ridiculously easy. Like you don't even have to put force into it. You basically extend your arm and you make a step forward, and you can put your entire sword through someone's belly without feeling any real resistance. Like that shit is spooky, like flat out horrifying. But a foil, a fencing epee, those things, like the few documented cases where someone died because of that. I know of one where it, where it was a pretty rigid sword, quote unquote, and it went through someone's eye straight into the brain. And no, you don't need that. Just use a fencing mask. You can't, like, honest to God, if you were to use just a thin sheet of paper in front of your face, you probably wouldn't get through that either.
I remember when I was a kid once, I ripped off the antenna on my stepdad's Jaguar so that I could fence with it as an extendable sword.
Nice.
He beat my stupid fucking ass.
Good.
Do cars still have antenna?
No.
When did that happen? Now that I think
I
about
don't
it.
know.
Chat, when did cars lose their antenna? When did that happen? I just realised that. I was like, because I used to rip them off cars and pretend they were swords. Life in Glasgow!
Right, super chats. Let's pound through the super chat. Brian Hess, do you think we could see a return of civic virtue, such as we had in the 19th century? I don't know. I think that civic virtue is largely a romanticized idea of the past, and that it never really existed in the sense, or at least in the magnitude that we think it did. The problem is that from the centuries past, the absolute vast majority of literature, music, and accounts that do survive time are the ones by the upper middle class and the upper class because they have the time and money to preserve cultural artifacts, while the lower class and lower middle class just doesn't really do that. There are exceptions, of course, but on average they don't do that. So we have this often romanticized ideal because, well, only the best things survived over time. So no, I don't think we can return to it because it probably didn't exist in the first place. Malleable Tick, Dr. Layman, what are your thoughts on anarcho-capitalism and anarcho-capitalism as well as anarcho-monarchism? I don't know how anarcho-monarchism is supposed to work, but I don't have a problem with anarcho-capitalism. If you decide with a group of people that you want to live in a anarcho-capitalist establishment, then yeah, you have every right to do so.
I think we could have anarcho-monarchism as if Britain became Ancapistan, but you know, we still kept the Queen and let her do her thing, kind of like she's doing now, where she has no impact on anything. She just goes about being Queenie.
I just Laythought is unironically in the chat, ringing at me to give her attention.
They thought, fuck off.
Dear Laythought.
Also, apparently, car antennas were discontinued in the year 1488. Don't forget to mention you're literally dying over here. Wow.
Right.
Wow, you just bullied in the No Bully edition.
Yeah, I just bullied in the no bully edition.
You're a maverick, Layman.
It had to be done.
You're a
I'm
loose
sorry, but
rapier.
it had to be done.
You're a loose rapier.
It had to be done. Right. Okay. That's it for the super chats. We're not gonna do anything autistic, but if we get $100 in super chats, I will beat Laythought. How about that?
How about $100 and you do something you're actually gonna do because you need money? You fucking
No,
fought.
fuck. I don't care. I'm just gonna beat her. I'm gonna beat her ass. I don't care.
Face reveal at $1,000.
Face reveal at $1,480 to be honest. Okay. Let's do the Patreon thingy. So, if you are a patron, if you are eligible, drop me a line on Patreon with your Discord username, and then join in the Q&A server, the waiting room. And if you're eligible, if you've let me know via Patreon, we'll drag you over, and then you can skewer me and embarrass me in the public space.
Easy space. I believe he means that it is a space where you do things in the public. 99 in super chat and I will beat Layman. Oh god, she's got you fucked there.
Oh Jesus! Oh no! It is getting dangerous. Like she's like I thought it legit.
I better hear fucking literal clashing of swords in the background.
Sali Salvari Nashidalita, Okapuritali, Barikolaya.
I audibly want to hear a dance battle between you two in the background. No visuals, I just want to hear both of you shuffling about awkwardly.
To be quite honest, I actually have a few swords with me, so it could get pretty ugly. Right.
Laythought, come play Overwatch with me and Aiden.
Fuck off. Can we maybe focus on this stream and not on fucking Laythought?
Then why are we still in this chat, dumbass? We should be in the drunk stream chat. See? I'm ahead of the game.
How can you be ahead of the game if your mum a gay?
Mum the game. $2 from Gapmeister123. Ever played Dwarf Fortress?
Oh, I actually really wanted to get into Dwarf Fortress. The problem is I started playing it when I was completely high off my mind, and I didn't have a good time. I just had a lot of cats. That's the only thing I remember. I had a crap ton of cats. I was very unhappy with the entire situation.
Lol, 2 cat.
Lol, 2 cat.
Layman has no nipples, says
Can
Laythought.
Can you stop giving Laythought fucking attention? She's a thought, okay?
You don't have nipples, you fucking bitch.
Master Stew, hey! So Master Stew is one of my patrons.
One of my patrons. He's one of the. He's unironically part of the Payday gang.
Right. Master
Hello,
Stew,
guys.
say something. Hey, Master Stew, how's it going, boyo?
Pretty good, man. Just, I've been playing with Dom on Overwatch for a bit, you know, just shooting the shit and enjoying life and so forth.
That sounds absolutely lovely. I didn't have time to play anything except try to play Darkest Dungeon, so I have a better understanding of it. The video I'm doing didn't have a good time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, mainly.
So, Master Stew.
Sorry.
Yeah, Master Stew, do you have any juicy questions? Do you want to embarrass me in the public space?
Well, I have a few. I haven't got anything major on my mind, but I've got a few like little things I could ask, and also some meme questions that have been requested of me by Dom. So, should we
Nice.
start with the memes or the serious stuff?
I mean, I've already lost control of my life, so go ahead.
Okay, well, Dom asked me to let you know that your Mercy's looking. It needs a bit more practice because it's looking a little shit, and also you need to play comp with him sometime. So there you go.
Yeah, Dom is unironically better at Mercy than you.
That actually, dude, that's fucking hurtful.
No,
Jesus,
he is. He's actually really good.
This is the fucking no bully stream, and you bully me on my own
You
stream.
broke the rule. You bullied Leafort.
Yeah, but I'm the fucking host. I can bully.
Wow,
Oof.
wow, fucking dude. And monarchy falls apart.
This is not. This is fucking anarcho-fascism. Deal with it, boy.
Anarcho-fascism.
Friggin' cock, to be honest.
What is that when you go about and make people do what they want?
Yeah, kinda.
Is that how it works?
Kinda.
Ugh.
So yeah, Dom did have another more serious
Yes.
question, although it's
Mhm.
a little depressing in subject matter, but whatever,
Mhm.
I'll go with it anyway.
Mhm.
He asks, like, what's the poorest you've ever been in your life, like financially? Like,
The absolutely poorest I've ever been. Like, people often like to be like, "Oh, I was homeless for like 2 years," and it's like, no, you were fucking couch surfing and living off of people. No, I was legitimately homeless. So for a few months, I didn't have any income, and the money that I have saved at that point was, we're talking about a few €100 for several months. I
oof,
had the luxury of being in a very warm country, so it wasn't that horrible.
yeah.
But it was a very bad situation. It was just, I was very young. I didn't know. I was just goalless, aimless in my life. But I am approaching poverty right now as we speak.
Oh dear,
So,
that's never good.
so when did Dr. Peterson appear to you in your life and tell you to clean your street alley and then put you on the right track?
Clean your room, bucko.
Clean your
No,
dumpster.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
he never appeared to me. It was actually just a lot of weed that made me realize that I should be doing something with my life.
fair enough. I'm lucky in the regards. I don't think I've ever been super poor, but because you see, as a young man, I've learned to save my money for the most part, not spend it on stuff. So I've been a good boy for the most part.
What kind of fucking Scotsman are you, Stu?
I know, it's like I think I was taken away from it before I became more Scottish because I like moved down to England when I was about 8 or 10.
Yep.
And so I've become like a weird hybrid Angloid Scotsman Irishman. It's fucking horrible.
Discount Anglo. Fucking discount Anglo.
Master Stu is the Ulster Scot.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the joke now. So yeah.
Stu, you're out of the payday gang.
Oh no!
Layman,
What?
you can have his slot.
Oh, nice.
You're probably getting Bill's because Bill keeps complaining about the game and he isn't very good. To be honest.
He just wants you to shoot Nazis and get Nazi
I
gold.
don't want
That's
to
what
play
he
the
wants.
raid. I fucking count so many Nazis. I like Robin Banks and I like the masks. I like the masks. I'm very style over substance, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions, Master Stu? This is your opportunity to embarrass me in the public space.
Well, I suppose because this interests me a little bit. How when you do your whole Scientology stuff, you're studying, putting forth your videos and so forth, conversing with people. How do you maintain such an air of like neutrality and remain unbiased and objective when you do a lot of your things? Like, is that a trick you've learned over time, or is
Drugs.
No, actually, it's okay. So,
damn.
I try to I try to force myself often into the most So here's the thing: I suck at this. I fail at times, and I'm often way too mean, way too condescending. I'm just human, right? I fuck up at times as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But I always try to uh, not approach like, let's put it this way: the entirety of my YouTube stuff is completely selfish. I do it to understand things. Um, I'm not interested really in walking up to people and try to militantly, religiously convince them of my ideals and ideas, because that's not going to happen. I can't do that. Um, but what I can do is to listen to people and try to understand their position. And many of my videos are kind of designed to elicit response videos, to elicit responses, even like on Discord or email. So I
Yeah.
put out a video, something that I feel strongly about, and then I listen to people. So it's really, in its intent, it's not designed to convince people of something, at least not on a conscious intent, but it's designed sort of to verify a thesis that I have and to see what will happen. So this neutrality is a sort of almost like genuine alt-centrist neutrality. I don't have that much of a stake in those ideas, right? It's not like many other commentators are really convinced of some sort of ideology or another, be it a very left-wing or a very right-wing ideology, and they can get super heated, and at times they are then willing to argue in bad faith, simply to maintain the honor of their ideology.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that. If you tell me that everything that I did in my life is a lie, suck, and I should die of cancer, then I'm gonna say, okay, do you have a good argument for that? And then I'm gonna listen to that.
Yeah. If I might just respond a little bit to that, if that's all right. I know it's mainly questions for you,
Oh,
but
no, go ahead,
oh
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. It's just this question impressed me because I kind of feel a similar way about a lot of things because I've always been kind of politically quite centrist most of the time. I don't feel strongly about a lot of issues, but I do have my certain leanings towards certain stuff. But it sounds like to me the way you do it, it's more to kind of spark discussions among people and just kind of broaden their understanding, so to speak. Because I think that's what I personally enjoy the most about your content. Because the thing about me was I was home educated from early years,
Mm.
so I don't have the same education as I think a lot of most people have. Like, I wouldn't say I've had a very poor education. I think, especially as a younger adult, I've really learned a lot of stuff. But the reason I enjoy, like, your content and some of the other people, in the community, so to speak, I hate saying the whole skeptic thing. It's a bit of a cringy word, but it really just helps me, kind of broaden my understanding of, various topics and so forth. And so thank you for, doing this
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I super appreciate that. So whenever someone like walks up to me and says that they enjoy my content, that's like legitimately heartwarming to me. Like many people just treat it as a job of sorts, but like legitimately, like even you just taking the time to appear here and tell me that you like my content, that actually means a lot to me. So
Such a wee gay boy, Stu.
kind of,
I you
but a
know,
good kind of gay, but a good kind of gay.
No, I
yeah.
love Stu. Fucking literally, I've spent like every day for the past week playing Payday with him for fucking hours on end. Fucking Stu's brand new. But he's a wee
Oh yeah.
bitch. Fucking Stu.
Yeah, definitely. You
Stu,
know,
it's fucking Stu. Don't. I'm taking the piss. Like you're alright,
oh,
Stu. Stick up for yourself, but that pissed me off there. Like fucking. Oh, here's 2 questions for Dom. And by the way, if I may, I might ask my own question. Of course, you can ask your own questions. You're not patron, no Dom. Fuck Dom. Fuck you, Dom. You potato. You scum.
ah dear. Fucking, I don't know, man. It's give me some time here, and I'm sure I'll be fucking banting and memeing for the rest of you. So don't
Get
worry about it.
get drunk.
It's
Reclaim your white melanin.
yeah, it's the not to get all cringy about my own life too much because people don't give a fuck. But basically, I'm a lot more like kind of banterous and fucking shit talking when I'm with people I know or people I've known for a long time. So as you said, I'm quite new to this whole thing. So I'm still learning my way around, so to speak.
And you get like 200 subs.
I've got 380 subs, but they're all probably like Star Wars fanboys, like kids fucking 10 years ago. So
Oh.
I have no fucking idea why they're still subscribed to my channel because I haven't done anything in
Ah.
10 years until now.
I heard Lemonade 1488 is going to do a video and debunk you.
Oh, what call that BS?
We don't talk about Lemonade 14 here. About that madman. We don't do that.
Look, man, even the children. Why Lemonade? Why? They were just tanned, Lemonade. They were just tanned. There was so much blood.
Okay, we should stop before we actually get someone banned. To be honest.
To be fair though, it's Lemonade. They say that the wine of the Anglo Lemonade 1488 can cut through solid diamond.
I can't believe that. That's fucking horrible.
Oh man, I've been working on my one down build, Stu. What's it called? Fucking, it's really good, man. This build I fucking found is fucking insane.
You're learning the ways of the ninja. I see.
Well, I mean, I can like solo shit like overkill and what like that now. It's fucking ridiculous.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, and I'm only like fucking halfway through the fucking perk tree. It's ridiculous.
So you haven't unlocked your true melanin yet.
No, man! When it maxes out, you get fucking like 10 armor per hit on an enemy every 1.5 seconds. It's gonna be insane.
So that's the thing, Layman. Are you gonna join the Payday Gang?
Guys, we need to get to Israel.
I am a prestige 3 or 4 ghost. Get on my level.
Oh, no, you do well with Nullus, like fucking, like, because Nullus, when me and Nullus work together, we can do missions on one down with stealth. Did they still have one down when you used to play?
One down, it doesn't ring a bell to me, no.
It goes, I think, Overkill, Mayhem, Death Wish, then one down.
Right, Death Wish was the highest difficulty that I...
Oh, one down is when they bring in the Zeal Task Force. One down is a bad time.
Yeah, there's 6 difficulties now, Layman, but yeah, there used to be 4, I remember, because I used to play it back like a year or so after it was released, so...
Yeah, the game is old by now, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I think that's the reason Nuka quite enjoys it as well, because he was saying to me, like, he wants to play a well-fleshed-out game that's, got all its content out and it's been patched and stuff, so...
Yep, and you can buy it for a song.
Oh yeah.
Like, fucking, and everything's out there and there's just so much content.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even touched half the heists yet, I don't think. There's so many cool ones.
There's so much shit. There's like 60 fucking different missions or some shit.
Oh yeah. There's, we haven't even touched most of the DLC ones, so there's all the Big Bang, the Miami heist, the Diamond, and all those cool things. So.
I did the Hotline Miami heist.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Right, so before we let this escalate into a payday stream...
Yeah.
It's the payday stream! Who are these guys?
I'm gonna play fucking payday with you once I get my team sorted out. So yeah. Right. No other patrons joining Masters do, so you are in a very prime position.
I have the floor, but I need to think of something retarded to ask. So
you don't really have to. Like, you can just quietly sit there and be awkward.
Oh yeah. Well, I've had a lot of practice with that as a young boy, so I'm a master of the awkwardness. But no one wants to watch that because I'd make for a shit stream. So I will.
That's kind of racist. I would wouldn't do that.
I know I'm insulting the audience there. I need to lay off that, especially if I plan on making a bloody YouTube channel at some point, trying to grow it. So,
to be quite honest, don't do YouTube. Like, who even does YouTube?
That is true. Only
faggots do YouTube.
Only degenerates will do YouTube.
I can't believe you said that, Kakalevi. I can't believe you said that.
Oh god.
I also really appreciate how my streams degenerate right over time. We started out pretty good, talking about Durkheim. It was kind of fun. And we went over, a few good questions, talked about some stuff. And by now it's just this lazy shit talking.
Yeah, I join and it just all goes to shit.
I think we should kill it soon-ish.
You have
Yeah.
fucking. You've got no principles, Layman. You won't stick up for what you believe.
I got all the principles, my boy.
You have no principles. You have no honor.
Okay, here's some questions, right? Because I've just thought, since I know fuck all about science and whatever,
Mhm.
you know,
It's not science.
I'll
it's
talk about
social
animals
science.
with you because I used to, in a professional capacity, care for dogs specifically, and I hope to return to that one day. So,
We're
Layman,
talking.
have you ever owned pets and so forth?
Personally, not. But one of my let's call him friends. One of my friends slash acquaintances. He is a dog breeder,
Ah,
so I am pretty well acquainted with dogs. I have never owned one, but they're fun. Definitely fun.
right, okay. So, do you have any opinions on like dog ownership, like in a? Because you see, in the UK, where I live, there's I think it's the same in other countries, but it's not so bad in the UK because
Mhm,
we have a lot of charities and infrastructure to deal with unwanted dogs.
mhm,
Because from what I understand, in other countries, it's way worse, like in Spain or places in the Baltics and so forth. Those are where you hear some of the horror
mhm.
stories. I imagine in France and Germany, it's not as horrific, but still not as good as the UK. Um, but in your experience, like the places you've been to, how is the situation for like dogs? Are they being overbred? Are there a lot of unwanted dogs? So
Um,
forth.
on average, the situation for dogs in Germany is pretty good.
Yeah,
Um, Exceptionally good. Even I travel quite a bit, and I know how it's looking like in Eastern Europe. And compared to that, Germany is a dog heaven, just complete dog heaven. Both the sort of social infrastructure with I don't know, fucking I don't know the English term for that. Uh,
uh,
Animal sanctuaries, animal
yeah,
shelters,
like
animal shelters is
yeah, yeah.
is is really good on average. The government is pretty active in protecting dogs as well. So by now, I think that in every federal state of Germany, you need to have a what's it called a a sort of document like a dog license to actually hold a dog, to actually own a dog by now.
That that's good. That actually honestly sounds better than UK because in the UK at the minute, there's no, as far as I remember, there's no license or like register. I think you
Mhm.
need a license. Actually, no, I don't even think then. I was going to say for breeding dogs, but I don't even think we have that. Like, you can get certificates and authentication for being, a top quality breeder and so forth and pedigree, but I don't think there's government legislation restricting breeding and all that. So it's kind of a problem because in the UK in particular, we breed so many dogs, and there's this kind of culture of just getting dogs at Christmas and so
Mhm.
forth, and kind of just viewing them as a little disposable. So it's kind of heartbreaking when
Yeah, it really
start
sucks
thinking
because
that.
dogs are such loyal and nice animals.
I know, I like dogs.
It really sucks to see them suffer.
I hear like there's a thing. Is it an American thing where they give kids fucking rabbits on Easter,
Oh, that sounds pretty
and then
nasty.
and then and then the rabbits get fucking neglected and shit like that, and then sent away and fucking shit like that, like within the
Yeah,
month or whatever, and it's like fucking cunts.
Jesus. Yeah, I
Don't play with fucking innocent creatures' fucking lives like that. It's disgusting.
I I I do hate the fact that people just fucking take animals' lives for granted, So it's kind of why I sometimes try and stay away. Because the thing is, my Facebook feed for the people I know is just full of animal, basically happy stuff about animals, but also bad shit about animals. So I kind of
Mm.
get to see both sides of it all the time, really.
Fucking hell. Alright, cats or dogs?
Or
Depends on my
just
situation. Usually dogs, but cats if I don't have cats if I don't have the property to hold a dog.
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
cats are more low maintenance,
if
so
I if I
that's
if I throw a cat in the air 10,000 times, will it land on its feet?
Suddenly, Papa kicks in the door and says, "You can't know."
Oof.
Yeah, we got a super chat by no fuck off. We got to pound the super chat. Phil's lab. You are $5 less poor now, Layman. I super appreciate it. $95 to go until I beat Laythorn.
Oof.
It's like I've always said. A dog will look up to you. A cat will look down on you.
Literally, because
But a pig will stare you straight in the eye and call you its equal.
Dude, this, but unironically, pigs are such incredibly smart and cuddly animals. Like, it's
oh yeah,
such abominable how we treated pigs. Like, we always think they're like inherently dirty animals, but no, oh, dude, no. I love pigs.
oh yeah.
I must have told you the story about my sister and the micro pig before. But
You cut out there for a
yeah,
second.
I need to drop it to Discord and come back. I noticed it was cutting out a bit. Yeah, so my sister really was obsessed with micro pigs, right?
Yeah.
And I've actually got a video with this, Layman. I don't know if I ever sent you it, but so the day she went out to get the micro pig because it was all hyped up, like Dad was going to bring home a micro pig and whatnot. And so I go downstairs, I go into the lounge, and the whole family's there. My brother's friends, and just all of them silent. And I look down, and there's this jet black, nightmare-looking pig. No fucking micro pig, just this big fucking pig running about in the nicest room in the house. And I look down at the pig, and then I look up at my stepdad, and we just look into each other's eyes, and we'll burst out laughing. And then my sister immediately just breaks down in tears. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh.
And like they're sitting talking about it, and she's like, "Fucking micro pigs. They call them teacup pigs. They can fit in a teacup." And I'm like, "What?" Like she's like, "Have you felt it?" Like she's crying. She's like, "Oh, have you felt it? Have you felt it? It's like a hairbrush." Fucking. I'll send you the video after the stream. What's it called? Oh, and she'd been sitting. They took it back, and she was sitting in the back seat with just a big giant pig on her lap. We left it in the conservatory over the night, and we were going to take it back the next day, and it had shit all over the conservatory.
Fucking hell.
Oh fuck! I laughed my ass off. Oh god! I hope it's all right. The fucking that brief time when my family briefly owned a pig. Fucking. It's fucking great. It looked like the devil. It straight up looked like the devil. Like fucking, its just face was just covered in. Like, what's the word for that kind of fur? You know, bristles.
Yeah. I'm not into livestock.
Just bristles, and it just had it all up its fucking face, and it was all spiked out, and it was jet black. It looked fucking nightmarish.
That sounds fucking incredible. I would have cared for it, to be honest. I would have cuddled with it.
See, the thing was, it wasn't even like a full-on massive pig as well. It was like the runt of the litter of like a regular pig. It's basically like that. It's basically the world's tallest midget scenario. Oh fuck! It was so funny.
Pig.
There was nothing micro about that piggy. Oh my god. Oh fuck.
Oh dear.
Oh god, like, I couldn't help it. She was just crying her eyes out, and I was just laughing so hard. It was so funny.
Let's continue the stream for about 7 more minutes until we kill it. Because,
Sure.
all good things must come to an end.
Like the brief time my family owned a fucking pig.
Like a nightmare Satan pig.
I'll send you the video. It's a really shit old iPhone video, but I'll send you the video after it. I've got it on my like personal YouTube that I never use.
I'll think some questions. Right, I've got one. Layman, do you think, like, how important do you think it is that we? This is probably an obvious question for most, but how important do you think it is that we ensure our world has like renewable resources for the future? Because bear in mind, we
Mhm.
seem to be increasing our population quite a lot, and it's one of the things that I kind of worry about in the back of my mind.
Mhm.
Because I think about, are we going to feed all these people? How are we going to give them all consumer goods and housing and so forth? The usual stuff.
Mm.
And our planet seems to be. I don't want to sound like a super environmentalist because I don't really consider myself that, but I do worry a bit about just running out of even just things like wood, and basic shit like that. I do think in the future that stuff like that could run out if we're not careful. So, any
Mhm.
thoughts on that?
Well,
I'm sadly not really educated on thing, but from my understanding, the problem really is not overpopulation, but population density that leads to a lot of problems. With our current technology, we technically can support an incredibly large population of people. I've seen the number 12 billion floating around that we could technically
Huh.
support with the current level of technology. But at the same time, there is a problem that many of the resources we are currently using are depletable. Uh,
Yeah.
Fisheries, like for example, that is just one of the things that people don't really talk about. But the way that we treat our oceans is completely
Oh God.
disgusting. That's
Yeah.
disgusting, and we've like there will be a point at which we will reach peak fishing essentially, enough that it will not be worth it to go fishing anymore. At least for a while until the fish stocks have recovered. And the similar thing with wood, for example, with to a certain degree with coal, with oil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And those things are the short passes. And honestly, the only way we can handle that is to switch off of them. Or in the case of renewable sources like fish, for example, we have to try to maintain a balance and or go at it with some severe artificial technology. Maybe modify trouts so they can get proper pregnant.
Oh yeah.
what are we gonna do about wood? Wood doesn't grow on trees,
Wow,
What-
that was kind of racist.
what-
Oh,
If if wood grows on trees 10,000 times, how can you
You
know?
still don't have proof it does. It's falsifiable, therefore you don't know.
How can you know? Popper, will you stop following me about the place now? You bitch.
Imagine just this angry dude carrying around places kicks down so he can scream at you about not knowing shit.
You're part of the problem. How many fucking doors have you put down today and just left in the middle of a field? How many doors, Popper? How many doors?
How many rainforests did you have cut down for that? Right. So, Masters Dude, thank you for joining. You are the only patron to join, so I really appreciate that.
yeah, no
That was
worries.
nice of you.
I always get at least 2, Layman. Fuck's sake.
I don't know, like people are scared of me, I suppose. Also, people don't like my streams. I don't really blame them. That's okay.
Oh dear.
And Laythor is right behind me, licking. I've never had such a needy piece of shit for a girlfriend. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. Naka, thank you so much for hosting this with me. If any one of you wants to check out Naka, he's a permanently angry Scotsman. You can check him out
I'm
in
not
the description.
angry. I just sound
You are
angry.
angry. That's the same thing to me.
Sometimes I'm angry.
Potatoes, potatoes, right? And you can read up on Durkheim in the description as well. Right. Thank you all for joining in.
Bye.
Thank you, Laythor.
What's it called? If you enjoyed the Q&A stream, I am having a Q&A stream with Sargon of Akkad on Monday on my channel if you would like to attend. Obviously, no pressure or anything. I'm going to put the hashtag back up on Twitter on Sunday if you would like to take part in that. Obviously, you can just use super chats to jump ahead, whatever. Because Sargon double booked on Friday, and I get the shaft. So fucking yeah, my stream's on Monday. Feel free to attend if you like.
Oh yeah, Sargon is a bit of a, He's got some issues with his schedule, to be honest.
Yeah. No,
He's busy.
yeah, he's a busy guy. Fucking, it's never for a second do I suspect he does that shit out of malice. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
why even come on a fucking stream with retarded old me? To be honest.
Absolutely.
Well, you do because you're pathetic, but
True. Right, and the last thing by Pragmatic Culture for $6.66. Thank you, Mr. Amazing Atheist. I missed your answer to my question, I think. Can we send you papers? Technically, you can send me papers. The DOI is sufficient. I can just use my subscription and or Sci-Hub to look them up. But I can't promise anything, really. If it's really fun, entertaining, and a good fit, I will deal with it. But other than that, I can't promise anything. And with that, yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I super appreciate this. This was the first stream of the new format, where it's not a proper Q&A stream, but a bit more focused on research and talking about old models and generally fun things. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, let me know. And obligatory Babylon prevails, I suppose.
how did it do, by the way? Do you think? No meme.